Hello gamers and welcome to episode 437 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for November 18th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Not much, man. Just still playing some video games. And just chilling, just waiting for Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yep, it's coming up, man. Darn, the year's almost over. It's almost over. We're already 24, baby.
Yeah.
24. I ain't think we'd get here after the Earth would end it already. But
we haven't made it yet, don't you worry.
All right, let's get into it. So in sports, my team, Washington, what the fuck they do? They lost. Yes, they lost. A disappointing loss. And yeah, I was disappointed. I was really rooting for them to win. And now they play the Giants, who they should beat because the Giants are like one of the worst teams. They got really manhandled by the Cowboys again. They're on like the third string quarterback or so. So they like Washington should win this game. They lose this game. I hope they lose every game from now on, so we can at least get like a top 3 or 4, or maybe top 3 pick if we lose every game from now on. We won 4 games. But I just feel like, man, we kind of in that realm where, look, we're not going to get top pick because I know we're going to win probably another game. So I'm like, we're still in the playoff hunt. Like, we're still there. I was really hoping to win last week's game so we can be, then we can win this week's game and be one game above 500 going into the Thanksgiving game against Cowboys. Because that looks good. Now, if we win, we'll just be one game below 500, trying to get to 500 against the Cowboys. Right. Still, I'm excited for that game. But, so I just help you get through this. Ravens already played. They won on Thursday. They beat the Bengals. Ravens looking good because Bengals and Cleveland Browns, who the Cleveland Browns did beat Ravens. That was a tough loss for the Ravens. So for them to bounce back, that's good. Though they took the Ravens taking out quarterbacks because they took out Watson got hurt in the Cleveland game, and then Burrow got hurt in the Cincinnati game. So now there's two quarterbacks in the division who's out. So that definitely puts Ravens in a good position, like them and the Steelers. Steelers are like a team that they're winning. It's like you, and like you would look at them, you would think like, they'll be pretty average or maybe a little below average, but they're in a good position. And like I envy Steelers and Steelers fans because like even a team when you think they'll be bad, they somehow still be competitive, like, overall. Yeah. Like, they'll be in the hunt. They won't just suck. Like, they may have some bursts and losses and stuff, but, like, who doesn't? So, it's like, I find it funny when Steelers fans complain and shit. And then, because I'm looking at it like, as a fan of the teams I'm fans of, that pisses me off. But I see, like, even, like, Ravens fans, too. Like, what the fuck are y'all bitching about? Yeah. I was like, dude, my team hasn't done shit in like 20 plus something years. Like, not even freaking predicted to do shit. Like, that was the most time they predicted to be last place. And I just be happy when they don't be last place. And yeah, we proved you wrong. We were second to last. We weren't last. It's it's like, what are y'all complaining about? Like, yeah, I mean, look, I get it. You'd be disappointed in lost stuff, but sometimes it's like, look, somebody has to lose. It's 30 fucking teams. It's 32 teams in the NFL. It's like somebody has to lose. I was like, yeah, I mean disappointed. It sucks, but at least you gotta say you at least had a fun year. Like you did well a year and then you didn't make the Super Bowl. Oh well, at least you enjoyed it. Like me, it's only a handful of games I can say I enjoyed. like it's really like I enjoy it. Like the only good thing about the Commanders is that our quarterback looks decent. Like, it looks like he's pretty good. So I'm like, okay, this could be something here. I don't know. But other than that, yeah, I'm like, man, I would rather be in your position. So what else happening? I know college football. Michigan's about to play Maryland. I know Michigan's been, like I talked about it last week, a whole thing with John Harbaugh. He is suspended for 3 games. I don't know if that includes last week's game or not. I'm not sure. But he definitely going to be suspended for the next 2 games, which is the rest of the season. So he's not going to be there for the Michigan game, Maryland game. But, I mean, Michigan should still win. And then Ohio State, that's the big one. I mean, Michigan, I don't know if they'd be favored to win. I think they should be favored. I think, well, like this, I know they were definitely probably favored before, but we'll see what happens in that game if they win. The Maryland, hey, they did win, so Maryland's getting a bowl game. I'm happy.
Nice.
I mean, it's a little disappointing. Like, I wish it was a better record. They probably should have won at least 2 other games. It should have been like 8. Right now, 8 games maybe, but I'll take it. I'll take this. Say fine. Man, I ain't got no choice to take it, right? So what else happened? Oh, the baseball. All the awards is over, and so I think Orioles just ended up. They got the Rookie of the Year, Gunnar Henderson, unanimous. He was unanimous Rookie of the Year. They got some Texas fans a little mad because they got a rookie too who was decent, and they're like, they're upset, like saying that, oh, they won, but like, I know some people mentioned about the World Series, but it's like this is the regular season vote, and they vote before this. They vote before, the playoffs. So I don't get it. Oh no, I think they were upset about the Manager of the Year. That's what it was. Yes, because they were saying how they're mad. Yeah, but this is the vote of the regular season, and thing is, Texas in the regular season, they barely got into the playoffs. They actually they slumped in August. Like, they were in first place, and then they fell behind. So this is a regular season vote, and just like the Oriole fans saying, like, y'all won the fucking World Series. What are you mad about? Like, what are you freaking upset about? And that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, who gives a shit? You won the World Series. Be happy with that. Say, like you say, you're still mad. I say, get the hell out of here. Like, shut up. Like, people can't, like, nobody can ever celebrate somebody else's stuff. I know it's in sports now, like, online. I rarely see celebration from anybody else on, like, someone else's award or something like that. It's so weird. Like, people just can't do it. They gotta talk bad about the team. And, like, it's one thing, look, man, you love your team. But, yo, you can't just say, like, hey, yeah, they did a good job. I mean, what the fuck? MVP, Shohei Ohtani won again. He won 2 years ago, because last year Judge won for the AL. But Shohei Ohtani, after he'd been out for almost a month, has won the MVP. But stats-wise, it's like it's hard to even missing a month, he still was, his stats was just up there.
Yeah. Undeniable.
So, I mean, good to him. So, like, I'm out, man. This offseason, where is he going to go? What team is he going to go to, man? Is he going to stay on the West Coast? Some people say to be close to home, even though I never get that nowadays with how planes work. It's so, and just with everything being like with, I'm sorry, it just seems like the world is much closer than ever right now, especially with the internet and stuff. Because, like, even in California, you say you're closer to home, but what is, people say, hey, he's closer to home. I don't know what that means, because it's still a long way.
Yeah,
it's not like
definitely
Japan
a long
is
plane ride.
Yeah, it's still a long plane ride for California. So it's not like so.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
it doesn't
like
need to take an 8-hour one before that to get across the country to get to California first.
Yeah, but you're playing baseball. You're going to
traveling constantly. I guess. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's you don't ever take a break and go to Japan.
Yeah,
you don't have a chance to. Like, the only time you have a chance to is off season, which that doesn't matter,
right? If
it's close to home or not,
because
you're just going to be home.
Yeah, unless it's about your family traveling to you. But I don't know. If you're making baseball money, then maybe they don't need to work.
Daniel, he's going to be making the most money ever.
Jesus,
he's going to be making the most money ever.
I mean, it makes sense.
Coming up.
Wow.
So so that's why I think the travel thing is. I mean, I think it only comes down to like whoever's paying. Like if the money is something over like in one of those California teams compared to East Coast team, then yeah, I can see like, hey, they're only paying me like something million more over in New York. I'll be in Los Angeles or something like that, or San Francisco or something like that. But yeah, so I'm curious where Shohei Ohtani would go. Also, I know the Orioles, they did offer contracts to all the people who are eligible, like through arbitration. So that means because like arbitration is like they're still under your team, but there's a negotiation like you can have with the players of like what you want to pay. If the player disagrees, like they should get paid more or something, then there's an arbiter who comes and decides how much they should get paid. Like they still be part of your team though. Like this because like you have 6 years being under the club, and then you can choose where you want to go. So they offered to I think almost everybody they said that was eligible. So that's good. So at least you know like they want to keep these guys. They believe in them. Oh, big news! Oakland has been Oakland A's. They did a vote with the owners, and the owners have all agreed that the Oakland A's they will be able to move out of Oakland to Las Vegas most likely. That's what it seems like. And even though they don't have a stadium officially yet now, it looks like if it is going to be built, it's going to probably be like 2028, 2027 or something like that. But their lease is up after this season, 2024 coming up. So they're trying to decide what to do before then. There's been multiple things that either it could possibly be a lease like just for a few more years to be there, or they'll just play at the AAA park in Las Vegas. Or some people have been talking about like even San Francisco split some games there where if San Francisco's they're not home. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's sad. Like Oakland, all their pro teams are gone now because even Golden State their arena was over there. Then they went to San Francisco. Yeah. Then you had the Raiders leave, which I think is still the worst thing to happen for them. And like the A's, man, I mean the A's came there at 68. But I mean it's been there long enough. Like I don't know. Because Oakland got nothing else. So I was okay with them. It's like I really didn't want the Raiders to leave. That's kind of what it was. Or Raiders be one of the LA teams. Seemed like it made sense. But but I understand money wise why Raiders went to Las Vegas because the LA people will travel to Las Vegas to go see them because it's easy. Yeah, it's so they'll take that instead of bringing Rams or the Chargers over because their fan base is not as big as Raiders. So you want to make it so that you have a fan base. I'm curious what the fan base would be like if Oakland even still go to Las Vegas. But I guess it would be they can fix it so they can be champions. You know, like that's what seems that happens. These teams move to new stadiums or move to places, they become good. Coincidentally. They coincidentally come good, Daniel, because Las Vegas, the Knights. You remember they played against the Capitals their first year,
yeah,
in the Stanley Cup. The Rams, the Rams. I mean, they played in the Super Bowl. It wasn't their first year. It wasn't their first year. It was like just a few years later, but. They were competitive. They were big. They were like champions. They were like picked like one of the top teams. So it just seems that way that it works out that way. Now but Vegas is an outlier. I mean the Las Vegas Raiders is an outlier though. Because or you could say it kind of messes up that whole notion because they haven't done anything yet. But our argument is that they got a fan base that people will come. They're always like the Cowboys. those people will watch it regardless. Regardless what they are. So it's it's a little suspicious, but whatever. Yeah, sad that they're going. I wish they wouldn't move. If anything, I want Tampa Bay to move. I felt like that's the place to move. And people argue that look at the fans, because the stadium needs to be fixed up in the Coliseum, and it needs to be fixed up in Oakland. But I just feel like the owners could have did it. The owners are cheap. Like they've been cheap all year. Like we think, look at Moneyball. Look what he did. That's how they've been playing. That's how they've been doing business. They don't pay for nobody. So, and they expect the city to do it. Like, where the city was gonna get that money? I mean, all the problems I hear about Oakland, I was thinking, like, where do we get the money from to even either fix the Coliseum or build a new stadium? Like, you fucking serious? So, is it worth? I guess that comes down to it. If you're forcing the city to pay a lot of money to do this, I guess as a citizen, I probably would say it's worth it. Now, there's pushback in Las Vegas with the teachers union because they're fighting against the stadium being built, using the money for this. So that's understandable, but I feel like they're going to lose because fuck the kids. That's just. I mean, look, I'm rooting for them, but I just feel like, man, they ain't gonna go against this. It's like teachers, like fuck them. It's like care about those kids because what is it like? It's just a bunch of it's the especially it's mostly the public school teachers probably, man. It's like, man, fuck this shit. Like, they don't mean nothing. Those kids, they all whatever. They gotta be driving Uber anyway. All right, they gotta drive Uber. They drive the people who go to these games with the Ubers. Yeah. That's gonna be their jobs. Or working at the stadium. They gotta deliver the popcorn and stuff.
All concessions.
Cracker Jacks. Do they still sell Cracker Jacks at these games? Last time they do. They're
like THC enhanced Cracker Jacks now.
Like oil game, but I don't see them coming down the aisle with Cracker Jacks though. Daniel, I think the only thing I ever seen was I seen Cotton Candy guy one time I was at the game. But every other time it was beer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I think it was lemonade a few times. Like they really was. I was like, damn man, ain't no other foods, like no hot dog, man, or I gotta get up, go to the goddamn line, man. You crazy? I don't feel like waiting that damn. It's like getting up, going that line. But yeah, so yeah, that's all I got for sports. I don't have everything else. So you got anything wrestling news happening?
Nothing really. The AEW pay-per-view is this weekend. It's actually tonight. It's a Saturday, which is nice. Not that I'm necessarily going to watch it, but you know, it's nice that maybe I'll be able to catch it tomorrow morning via some means instead of having to go work the next day. But I'll probably have something to talk about once that happens. So next week.
So I guess we get to what we're watching. So what you been watching?
Yeah, so I've been watching the new Scott Pilgrim series on Netflix. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. That is, I guess, based on the books, but I don't know how much it's based on the books or if it's just, you know, using the characters from the books. It's an animated show. It looks like those old graphic novels, kind of the close to chibi look, but not quite. And it uses all the same voice actors as the movie did, which I was a huge fan of the movie. And
they actually used those actors?
Yeah, they got everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. Michael Cera sounds weird. I don't know if he's just finally hit puberty in his 40s, but yeah. Exactly. He's
in his 40s. He's younger than us.
Oh God, no, he's not. He can't be younger than us.
Yes, he is.
Don't say that. Oh, I'm sure it's true, but you didn't need to say that, Dominic.
I was about to say he's definitely. I know he's younger than us.
Anyway, so yeah, they have all the actors, and yeah, it's really good. It actually, the first episode basically follows exactly along with the movie, and I thought it was kind of just going to be a retelling of that. And while I appreciate the art style, I didn't necessarily think that was going to do much for me. Like, I've already got that movie, so I don't need all of the lines. The first episode, I was literally like, did they just is that why they have the voice actors? Because they just used the lines from the movie? Like, what's going on here? And then immediately in the second episode on, it kind of subverts the movie and what little I know of the books as well, and kind of turns it on its head a little bit. And I think they do a really good job with that series. I liked it a lot. I finished it. It's 8 episodes, I think. 8 like 28, 30-minute episodes. So it's pretty digestible as well. And yeah, it was really well done. I liked it a lot.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'll check it out eventually because I've been just watching these other shows, trying to catch up on. Yeah. But I did finish Ahsoka.
Okay, cool.
And I thought it was pretty good. It's like, if you definitely watch Rebels, it definitely seemed like it was a continuation of that. Like, it felt like a continuation, and it felt somewhat satisfying. I mean, I was fine with it. I'm trying to think of the problems I have. Like, the ending is, I wonder how they're going to do this. I mean, it does, like, the way it ends, it does show, like, oh, I see where it's going. It's bringing some homage to even the Clone Wars show too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, something from there. And it is sad that because one of the actors has passed away, one of the villains in the show, and he was really interesting. So, like I said, if somebody said they were thinking exactly what I was thinking, because they said they hope they don't go the Black Panther route
and
say
just
he died.
right around it, yeah,
and just replace him, like, because that's I always say about Black Panther. I still haven't seen a new one yet. I mean, eventually I'm going to catch up to see it, but I always said, like, why can't you just replace him? Why can't you just replace him? Because it's Black Panther's the character.
Yeah, he's
not black. See, y'all made it to be that, and y'all let people make it to be that, and that's pretty sad to me, because it's like, I like him. Yeah, I really enjoyed the guy, but also like the character, and now he's dead. like you make it like he's dead now. So you did both. It's like that sucks. That's like whatchamacallit dying doing the voice of Batman. Batman's dead now.
Kevin Conroy,
we can't do Batman cartoons.
We can't do Batman ever again.
Yeah, we can't do Batman cartoons. You know, you just do real Batman or something like that, but you can't do Batman cartoons. Like, it's like, dude, don't do that.
I mean, that
like
between
people,
special.
I'm sorry, people are smart. People are. I'm sorry. I mean, let me finish my thought. I'll let you talk. Like, people are smart enough to know what's going on. I mean, they did it with Terrence Howard. They do it. It just happens. It's like, I don't feel like people will be like, oh no, what's going on? I don't understand this. My brain does not work for this.
Who is this new man?
What? Yeah. But go ahead.
I was just saying, like, it happened at the worst time between, like, how special everybody was treating that movie anyway. You know, that was peak, like, MCU as well. So, you know, everybody was in the like, yeah, we can't change anything about these movies now. Like, we have hit perfection, you know, and if we, you know, I think it would have been the case with a lot of actors in those roles, but especially with how special, you know, Black Panther felt, you know, with the way it was treated in the culture and everything. But yeah, it was just the exact wrong time. I mean, it's never a good time for it to happen, but to have those discussions of like, yeah, we should just move on with the characters. These people aren't, you know, they're actors at the end of the day. They're not the character, but at that point, everybody was treating all of those actors like these are the characters. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark, you know.
I don't know. I don't know. I think they should have just put the DC in, like, look, man, Superman can't be what's his name? Damn,
Christopher Reeve.
Guy. Christopher Reeve, yeah.
Superman can't be paraplegic.
Yeah, I guess they could have done that. They could say like, well, we can never do a Superman movie no more because it ain't Christopher Reeve. He can't do it. We gotta do. He had a son or something like that. Like they gotta put some new story out there because to make it make sense that there's a Superman, but it wasn't like Christopher Reeve. But it, yeah, I don't know. I just think, yeah, at some point you gotta treat it like what it is. It's a movie. It's something for just enjoyment. You don't have to treat it bigger than what it is. People make it like whatever the fans do to make it bigger than what it is. You don't have to go with that. You let the fans do that. I mean, it's that. I feel like that's a more fan thing. I don't need you to be like, oh, so this is what it is. Then no, the fans make it that way. I mean, I don't, and that's fine. I mean, but I just don't. I don't never like it when the studios do it. Yeah, I don't know. It's something to that.
Yeah, because everybody anyway, on the fan side that was making the argument, it was making it based on an emotional argument, right? Like it was such a tragic event. We had no idea anything was necessarily wrong. I mean, obviously there were those photos going around where he was looking ill, but it really just kind of came out of nowhere. So yeah, everybody was making the emotional argument, and I think you're right that the studio maybe played into that. I mean, at the same time, these are people that are a lot closer to him than any of the fans ever were. You know, I'm speaking on like Ryan Coogler and stuff like that. You know, so hopefully, you know, they thought they were making the best decision for the situation. But yeah, obviously sometimes emotions can cloud like what would have made more sense, either story wise or financially, I guess.
All right, so where are we at? I guess Ahsoka. But Ahsoka, yeah, I think it was a pretty good show. I think it's up there with the Star Wars. I mean, I still have like Andor and Mandalorian probably of the new properties like top. Mm-hmm. I think Ahsoka might be maybe third. I'm trying to think because I can't think of another Star Wars when I put that. I know it's definitely better than Obi-Wan.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it might be better than Boba Fett. But I will say like, yeah, they the pacing was okay, even though I felt like they didn't get to a certain area. Like I think they should have got to a certain part of the story a little faster. But yeah, I'm curious what they do for the next season, like or like how this will work, because the way it ends, because this story is taking place at the same time as Mandalorian, so this is all the same like time. This is like right after the Empire loss, so like where would these characters be? Are they going to be in the next Mandalorian, the next or some other movie? Not movie, another show series. Is this going to be Ahsoka 2? What exactly is not all? Except I'm thinking like, are all these characters going to be Ahsoka 2? Because the way the ending kind of happens is in a way like these characters are in different places, and I don't know. I mean, they can put them in the same series, but I also can say I can see these characters happen in another series too. So I'm curious where they go with that, and with that guy passing away. Will they just replace it? I feel like they need to, because he's a big. Because what he does is just a big part that they got to replace him.
Yeah, like you can't just kill him off. His story is kind of unsatisfactory, unsatisfying ending. Basically, it doesn't really culminate the way you would need it to.
Yeah, exactly. Like they need to continue it. Like they definitely left a big cliffhanger with this story. I think it's good if you have it ready, but I think it's bad when you don't. Like when you don't even know you're going to have a season 2
to abandon that.
Like, yeah, and see, and that's the thing. I don't like these. this is why I'm against cliffhangers. I'm against cliffhangers. If you're not guaranteed to have a season 2, don't do one. Or leave it with the ending that, yeah, I can continue it, but if it doesn't, it's a satisfying enough ending. I don't agree with that. Like, you make a story incomplete without knowing you can complete it. I think that's fucking stupid, honestly. And I think it's that. I mean, I know why people do it, but I still think it's dumb. I'd like you would even take a chance like that with no guarantee that you can finish the story. Like, I feel like that should be in place. Like, look, you're going to have time to do a season 2. And they say, like, no, we're just doing one season. Treat it as one season. Treat it as. And then, I mean, you treat it as like, oh, well, we can continue or something. But, yeah, like, I don't like this whole, like, oh, it's forever a continuation. It's forever, like, oh, you can keep going. Because shit happens.
Yep.
Like, what if Rosario Dawson dies? What the fuck we gonna do now? Or she doesn't want to act no more. Or she doesn't want to do it no more.
Retirement.
Because it's like, she has a contract for a show? Because, like, y'all didn't, at least as of, I mean, I don't know what it is now, but at least as of when the series started, y'all weren't guaranteed to have a season 2.
Right.
All right, so where we at now? What we been playing? So you can go ahead. You can start.
Yeah, so I played some Ratchet and Clank finally. Now that I'm done with Spider-Man, basically, I got all the trophies and everything, so I'm kind of finished up with that game. I was looking at other things I could pick up on the PS5, and I started up Ratchet and Clank. I wanted to see how that looked. I watched a little bit when you had played it streaming, but man, that game looks fantastic. It seems like it's Ratchet and Clank. I don't know that, we've talked about the Portal stuff. I don't know that that's doing anything wildly unique so far. I'm not super far into the game, but I played it for like 45 minutes to an hour or so. Just kind of getting into the first combat encounters where you experience that stuff. Sure. Yeah, so that game, I'm going to enjoy playing it, I'm sure, but there's nothing new to it that's really pulling me in outside of just getting to experience more Ratchet and Clank. I don't know that the Portal thing is necessarily going to do anything that's wildly, new or spectacular.
So not the girl Longbacks either. Like she ain't too what's the word I'm looking for? She ain't pulling you in either.
No, she's pulling me, Dominic. But that's a whole other thing. I don't want to talk about that on the podcast. No,
I know.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to that part yet. So
the furry community loves her.
The furry community, I'm sure. This is the next evolution of Crystal, I guess. Still waiting for our next Star Fox game with her in it, Dominic. All right. I also played some Alan Wake 2. Started that game off and got to the first kind of chapter break. It seems like they break up these stories with not quite like a credits roll, but almost like a credits roll, like a intermission almost between sections of the game. So I got to the first one of those. And so far, I've just played as Saga, the new character. She's basically a FBI agent, and she rolls into this a backwoods town and is investigating this murder that you kind of see through the victim's eyes.
Hold on, you got this on PC?
Yeah, it's on Epic Store.
Is it running pretty good?
It's running all right. It's not the best looking game on my PC, but it's running relatively smoothly.
Okay.
With stuff turned down. So yeah, that's it's running pretty all right. That's so far kind of the setup is you investigating this murder. You're walking around the crime scene, you're picking up clues, and then you go into this mind palace, which is basically this like cabin that you go into inside your head, and you put stuff on a board on the wall, and you connect to red strings and stuff, almost like conspiracy theory style. I think it's a clever way to kind of keep you focused as to like help you manage clues and stuff as you move into the larger story of it. Again, I'm pretty early though, so I haven't seen that kind of extrapolate out yet, but I think that could be a pretty cool concept, even though it's a little bit clunky the way it's handled. Haven't actually seen Alan Wake proper himself yet, but it seems like that game's gonna be cool. I haven't seen any combat yet either. I did get my flashlight, but it was mostly just to kind of run away from this villain that I was facing. I did, we've talked about it in the past, but I did enjoy Alan Wake, the original, and based on what I'm seeing online, like people who didn't even like that game are pretty into this game as well. So, I'm excited to see how good this ends up being. It's in Game of the Year discussions in what has been a pretty incredible year of releases. So I expect high.
Yeah, people keep telling me that, man, but I guess I'm in a minority. Because I only liked a few of these games, and the games they had for top, I wasn't a big fan of.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the problem is when people talk about like how great the year is, they're talking about one of the biggest games being Zelda, and Breath of the Wild not really doing much for you. Yeah, that's instantly kind of a disqualifier. So it's like, what makes this game so good? What makes this year so great?
Spider-Man being a Sony game,
that's it. Yeah, all these Sony games up here, all these Sony properties.
It's like, no, it's been overall, it has been an incredible year. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. All right. So there's that, and then Thirsty Suitors, which I see you also played a bit of. I had actually played this last week and then forgot to mention it because I didn't write it down.
I mean, that's what it was. I mean, quite a few of these games up here are what I played from last week.
Gotcha.
I just didn't mention. For the last 2 weeks ago, because 2 weeks. Yeah. So. But yeah, go ahead. Because I still think you probably played more than I did.
Yeah, so Thirsty Suitors I played through basically the first kind of X, because it very much, it's kind of funny that...
Oh, never mind then.
I didn't...
Then we played about the same.
Oh, okay. It's kind of funny that I'm talking about this the same week as Scott Pilgrim, because this very much has a Scott Pilgrim-esque setup where you're returning to your hometown and you're kind of confronting your previous relationships. Yes, but you're a
girl. Ew.
Yes. And it's kind of a turn-based RPG. Turn-based RPG. So when you get into like these combat encounters, it's basically you confronting an ex and doing different moves to kind of either woo them or, kind of reject them to see what is most effective in handling their infatuation with you or whatever may come with, future exes. With this first one, it was very much he was super into you. Again, kind of maybe following Scott Pilgrim very closely, because that's kind of, they share similar, like, oh man, this was my early first boyfriend or girlfriend. Well, yeah, I guess, because it's in Scott Pilgrim, you're dealing with Ramona's exes, you're not dealing with his exes. So it's very much early relationship. This person might be a little too clingy and might have gotten the wrong idea. I think the style and the vibe of it is pretty cool. I don't know that I'm super into it though. I'm probably going to play it a little bit more just to give it a chance, but I don't know if it's going to hook me until the end. But I do think it's a neat idea. It's less so the actual like story and vibe of it that's not hooking me, and more so the gameplay. Like the turn-based action of it isn't really doing much for me, and because it's kind of a slower pace, it's what's kind of dragging me out of the game. more than anything else.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I wonder if the gameplay gets more interesting as you go further, because that's where it's kind of is for me. Like it's fine, but it's not like really like, oh, this is cool. Like it's really, yeah, it's just a story that I'm more curious about. But yeah, I don't know if like between the games I want to play, like will I continue playing it? Like it looks like it's a fine game, like it's pretty cool game, but I don't know. It's like I wish if I have time, I do want to complete it. I do. I mean, I actually do want to finish it, but I don't know if I'm going to find time for it. But it's a creative game. I mean, I do. I mean, like, yeah, going through these X's and things of that nature is pretty. It's pretty funny. It seems like it's pretty funny.
Yeah, the writing is pretty enjoyable so far.
Yeah, I like it. I like the look of it. I like the designs of the characters and everything. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I definitely, if you're into this type of thing, games of this nature that's kind of wacky, but kind of modern-esque or something like that, and you know, definitely go for it. I mean, it's pretty simple, like to learn it. I mean, because it's just turn-based, and but that's what it seems like now. Because I don't know if it does anything different throughout the game. I haven't looked at.
I also wonder if when it like opens up more, how those battles can play out. Like if I make the wrong move, you know, can that change the outcome?
What does that mean?
Or does it just make it harder or what? There's also that little bit of skateboarding section at the beginning of the game, which wasn't like, it's not Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but I thought it was kind of a clever means better to go around it.
It was better than Tony Hawk.
She does some pretty sweet tricks, I will say.
All right, so the games I played, I'll just talk about the games you are playing. Baldur's Gate, I've been playing that almost through Act 1, I want to say.
Okay.
I thought I would just be at the very end after I beat that like boss guy and just say Act 1, but it didn't. I was like, oh, god damn it. Cause that's what I wanted to take my break at. It was like Act 1 and I'll come back to this game later. But yeah, this game is incredible. Like I see why people really have it for the game of the year this year. It's got a lot of detail, man, like in everything. I mean, graphically is great, and I mean, I got shitty PC, and I'm not even seeing the best of the graphics. That's just why I don't record it, because it doesn't look great, but it's good enough for me to play and play through the story. But when I look at like people's playthroughs of it, the graphics look great. The story is pretty well. I mean, they have all these characters and voice acting in it. I'm shocked, really, that I'm not doing any reading, like except for the normal. You pick up a scroll, which you do that in all RPGs. But yeah, man, it's like this is done very well. I mean, this is kind of, I guess, like, since I'm not getting a new I don't know when I'm getting a new Dragon Age. I've been away from Witcher for a while. Like, this is the next best thing. The only problem is that yes, it is very hardcore, but they do have it like story mode where you just don't have to worry about that shit. Really, I didn't play that. I'm not playing that mode though. But yeah, it's very hardcore, but the dice rolls and everything like that, like a lot of things are by chance, and so you don't know if you're going to get it, which is kind of cool in a way, because it's like it's unpredictable, which is what those games really are. Like it's supposed to be like a dice roll in Dungeons and Dragons. So that's really interesting, and also the choices you make, how they impact the world. It's great. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm really into it. I'm definitely really into this game, and I really see like it's really done better than like the Vinny Original Sin. Like I would get into it, but then I would just fall off later on. It's something about this game that makes it a whole lot easier for me to stay, that I'm more invested into it than their previous outings. I mean, probably the voice acting stuff probably helps with that.
Absolutely.
You know, and maybe some of the mainstreaming of the game also. helps with that. How they implement the controller. It's definitely a whole lot easier to do a mouse and keyboard, but it's just that I'm so used to controller, and like it's just so much easier for me. Like the battle system, I would rather use a mouse. Sometimes I do use a mouse, but when I'm just traveling, I'm tired of just clicking. Like just click here and they run, click here and run. It's like I just want to move the character on my own. Like so, I use my controller. I think that's basically it. Oh yes, something I didn't mention from last week about the over like sexualization. Now over I don't mean over sexualization as in like, oh, these people are wearing like the women are wearing these cut clothes and stuff, or like I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about like when you talk to these characters, like you're in like your party. They all seem very thirsty. Like they always like you talk to them normally, but then they get to a place where they're like kind of flirty. You can kind of feel it, and then you have some answers, and it's like I want to get an answer to where like just to say I'm not interested, so they just won't.
Yeah, not pursue
they
you.
They won't try to go after me again.
Yeah.
But they don't really give me that until like certain parts of the story. Like after I talk to them for a while, I think I get to that point. At that point, to one character, but some other characters they always give me that feeling. Like in this one character, it just seemed like he ain't getting the message, and like, and then they make it like your character. Like they make your character expression like smile or something, almost like I'm saying, wait a minute, no, my character, I'm not interested in him or her.
Yeah.
Or like it's another woman character like it does. I was like, come on, calm down. I'm like, look, I'm not interested, and they don't give you that option, and I think that's pretty bad on the story level of that to me. I'm like, one thing with the Bioware games, they get it to the point where you can say, hey, we can be friends, but I'm not interested. But the thing is, when you, like, in this game, they make you, like, turn them down, and it's always, like, a disappointment. But it's like, yo, just let me just say, like, yo, I'm just, or let me just say I don't flow that way. Like, let's be honest. Like, yeah. I'm saying, like, this game, y'all trying to, listen, these games are trying to be more progressive to what the standards we have of today, of, like, people being, more like either gay or they're non-binary or they're bi. You just love everybody, and that's fine. And I get it that you, and plus the character you are is really you because you don't speak or anything. You make these characters, you create these characters at the very beginning, all their settings, who they are, they're a woman or a man, or I think they have a setting maybe for non-binary. I'm not sure, but you don't give me. I'm thinking, like, why can't you give me the option to say if I'm heterosexual or homosexual? Or I am bi? Like, I mean, because you got these characters all coming after me, because then it can make it for a story that, look, he's not going to be interested in me because I'm a heterosexual. Because they got gaydar. Oh, they got gaydar? They can tell you you're not gay, and then they won't try it on you. So, so I'm like, yo, what? So why? Yeah, I don't get that. It's like I've never seen this before though. Like where it don't give you the option. Like it seems like you gotta calm that down a bit. Like stop making these characters fucking horny dogs, yo. I'm like, I know it's like always a joke and stuff like it. People do it, but make that an option, man. It's like I don't know. It's like as I say, like it seems a little weird.
Yeah, it's
like
part of the
these guys,
openness of it. Yeah, should you have that option as well? There are people that want to go down the path of not want to get with any of them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Some people are like, look, man, my character is just a warrior, and I just want to kill shit. And yeah, like I ain't worried about trying to get with these people. It's like, or like maybe my story is that I had someone. Maybe my story is that I had somebody I loved and they passed away, and or they're somewhere else. My loved one is somewhere else. Then like, and I'm just not interested. I don't know. It's whatever. But anyway, I've been playing that. Also, I'm playing a lot of Sea of Stars. I really want to beat this game. This is a good RPG. Like I really enjoy the story. It's gotten really interesting now. And yeah, it said I think I said 20 hours, I want to say, on the Xbox for like completion. That I feel like that's a lie because I've been playing more than 20 hours and I'm not doing a whole bunch of side quests or anything. So I'm like, man, this is not going as quick as I thought it was going to be. But I like it. But I was just thinking like, oh, I thought I was going to beat this pretty fast. And I'm like, oh, this is a good game. I kind of want to beat it. Only reason I want to beat it fast is I want to play some other games. That's really what it is. But I do enjoy this game. I do enjoy what I'm playing. And I like the puzzles too. Like it's like a in between of like a Zelda and a I guess some other like a turn-based RPG. Either like Dragon Quest or old Final Fantasy. But it has like the Mario RPGness of like blocking, like timing your hits and stuff like that. It because like the Zelda aspect I'm talking about is like the puzzles in the some of the dungeon places you go into, what you do. I do enjoy doing them. They're not as well. I'm talking about like old Zelda, not the new one. They're pretty creative. They're pretty creative puzzles. Not too hard, to figure out. You can figure out, but it's pretty good. Like I really. Yeah, this game is pretty cool. It's done different. Like the story is done. Basically, I mean, it's a simple. Like they took a simple aspect of a story, but they really was creative of how it goes and how it flows, which I do like. Of what they did and like what how the characters are. I will say that the two main characters don't have a lot of personality. But the side character does, like especially the one side character does, the cook. Like he almost comes off the main freaking character, really. I mean, if you want to say it, like it's just, and I mean I like him, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. And I also like the combinations, the combos they use between the characters that you have. That you can use against enemies. This game's pretty good. I never played The Messenger. That was The Messenger, right? Yeah. The one they yeah, I don't think I ever played The Messenger, or if I did, I played a demo. Maybe I didn't play much of it to really get the gist of that game. Mm. So I mean, I heard it was an okay game. It was pretty good.
I liked it a lot.
I just no. Oh yeah, you played it. That's what I was about to say. Okay, so you played it. So I don't know how to compare that with this because I don't know what you do in The Messenger.
It was basically a side-scrolling action game.
Okay.
Ninja game, basically.
So, but yeah, this game is pretty good. So it's pretty good that these developers, they did to make another incredible game to really keep it. They have another notch in their belt as developers. What else I played? Okay, so I did try the RoboCop game.
Oh, cool.
And it definitely got that 80s feel to it, as far as like the story and everything. Mm-hmm. That's what I really want to play through it. It's just because of that, the story, like this, to see where it goes. Gameplay wise, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple, basic game. It's not a great game or anything, but it's really just a nostalgia for me with this game of like, because I used to watch RoboCop a lot when I was a young kid in the 80s, like a little kid. I used to always watch that movie. Probably shouldn't have, but I don't think it mattered. Because now today I want to be a cop now, and then because of RoboCop. But anyway, it's a first person shooter. I think the gun you come with originally is infinite ammo. You can pick up weapons, but it seems like I run out of ammo really quickly. And maneuverability is not great, which I guess it makes sense because RoboCop wasn't really maneuverable, right. But it's just, I don't know. This doesn't work for this type of, like a shooter, the way these guys shoot. It seems like always getting hit. And I mean, I'm still in the early part of the game. I mean, I've done the first area, so I got really based through the tutorial area of the game. I'm kind of in the open, I wouldn't call it open world, but it's kind of open part of the game. You can actually do little side mission stuff to level up, which was interesting. I just never think of this game. I didn't think this game was like that. I thought it was just a simple this shooter. But yeah, you could do some things to unlock some abilities in the game. I mean, it's something. I feel like it's something there. Like it could have been so much. It could have been a whole lot better. But it's like you can tell there's a budget. There's a budget with this game, and yeah, like I wouldn't definitely say it's not a good game. I mean, some people would say it's just a bad game, but I don't know. For some reason, it's good enough for me just to mess around with, like just to play through. So, and if I have time, I might finish it, but we'll see with these games. I did pick up The Expanse, which it didn't remind me. Like, oh yeah, I did have the Star Trek game, so I had to finish that too. Yeah. But I already started The Expanse. I think I'm on chapter 3 of that now. Okay. It's done by Telltale. It definitely looks like a Telltale game, but it runs a whole lot better than what Telltale games used to run. Good. Yeah, they've done a good job there, and I do like the openness of when you're in space that you can just kind of travel places, and they have little side stuff you can get while you're out there that you can collect for your crew and things of that nature. Because even at the end, they even tell you you got this. Like when it's like, hey, certain percent of people did this and collected this and stuff like that. And I know it's like, oh, I missed that. And then something will say, oh, I did get that, and a lot of people didn't. Yeah, the story. I forgot when it's supposed to take place, but you are dealing with one of the characters that was from the original series, and some things go wrong with the crew, like the guy you're working for, he almost tries to kill you because he wants to take you're a salvage team, so he wants to take the salvage for himself, and he was trying to get rid of you, but either he was trying to get, I forget what it was. Yeah, I think was he trying to get rid of you, or did you have the salvage and he didn't want it? I don't know. I forget. But yeah, I don't want to, because I definitely want to spoil it too much. But yeah, so then you're gonna be taking over the crew, because and you get and there's a choice. I think you could kill him or imprison him. And I think I chose to imprison him, but it's a lot of choices in the game, just like the old games. I don't know how much they impact the story, because that means I have to play the multiple playthroughs or just look up what somebody say. I mean, so far I'm enjoying it. It's okay. It's not really groundbreaking. I mean, like I said, the most groundbreaking thing is the openness of the when you doing a salvage or somewhere, how you can travel at different places around, and I like how you float in space. Like you can turn off like your mag boots to just be able to float, and then you can float places and things like that, or put the mag boots on the wall and like walk there. It's done really well. They still have that problem with like checkpoints, or like I wish you could save anywhere. Like I wish they do that, because it was a part where you had to dodge these lasers, and I was like, oh, this is going to be frustrating. I keep dying. And I died a few times. They get to start from the beginning part. And I was like, come on. I was like, I don't know why just let you save. Just let you save anywhere, man. It's like, I don't want to have to keep doing this. But yeah, I made it to chapter 3. I wish and that's another, it's a problem I had at Telltale. Is like, if I'm like, oh, I want to take a break and get off the game, I don't know where the save point was. Mm. So I don't know how far like I was from saving, or when's the next one, because you can't just save. So that kind of sucks, because I was just exploring the ship, and I felt like, oh man, the save is going to probably be at the beginning point of when I started. It's not going to be a checkpoint in between this part, like just talking to people. I said, darn. Yeah, so, but no, it's done well. It's got this is all the chapters. Now, I don't know, did they release these things like monthly, or they just released everything at once? Because I just know all the chapters just came out 2 weeks ago. Okay, I lost Daniel.
You're back now.
Okay.
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
I was saying, did did this come out monthly or did this come out with all chapters at once?
I'm not totally sure about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because I know it came out with all chapters a few weeks ago, but I don't know if there was something like, hey, they had chapter 1 and then they had chapter 2. I'm not sure. But it's all out there now to play if you want to play it. And I think that's it. That's all I played. I know I played some Marvel Snap. I've been playing some baseball. Is there anything else I'm missing that I played? Anything that came up on your phone as a achievement that I played?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's it. All right, so I guess I'll take a quick break. When we get back, get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. So now we're going to flashback to 2013, 10 years ago, and we got some games that came out, man. We got here. Oh, yes, this is the release week of the PS4.
Yep.
The PS4 was released 10 years ago, man. This great console. And we got one of the best games that came out, launched with the game, Killzone Shadowfall. Mm-hmm. It was a first-person shooter. It is, a sequel to the Halo Killer series. So now it's the first game on the PS4, and it's like, yeah, we're going to continue it. It's like this is going to be the Call of Duty Killer 2. But I'm sorry, I was joking. But no, this did not get reviewed very well. I still have not played this game yet as of this day.
They never made it free, Dominic. Like I cannot believe that is a game that was never added to the PlayStation Plus catalog.
Because it's an epic classic game. They're like, nah, you got to get this.
Sure,
you got to buy this game.
7 out of a 10 game or whatever the reviews are for this.
Yes, well, your Struck Toy gave it a 9 out of 10.
Man, somebody over there
who
was
did
very
that
excited.
Review. Yeah, like there is. I'm looking at the other reviews. Like Game4 gave it an 8. Polygon gave it a 5 out of 10. Games Radar gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. But yeah, so you got like mixed reviews, but it's probably average.
Yeah,
the average
I'm
game.
sure it's not horrible, but it's not there to impress.
And it's the last of the Killzone.
Yep. Because now
games.
those guys are
this
working
the
on
last one.
for Horizon Forbidden West, or Horizon until the day they die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the new series now, because everybody can only do one series now.
Yep.
Or 2, like Rockstar every 20 years or something like that. But
I still don't get how like a company like Sony doesn't give like this style property, or even like a Jack and Daxter, anything that their top tier developers have kind of abandoned and moved on from. Why they don't give one of their smaller studios a shot at that? Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. It's just got to be something where the money. We got to get Michael Pachter. We asked Michael Pachter about that.
Get him on the pod.
All right. So what's the other game? Another big hit game for the PS4. Knack.
Yeah. The biggest
hidden gem. It's like well, it wasn't really hidden, really.
Hidden in plain sight, Dominic.
Yeah. Knack, which, oh man, I didn't know the Metacritic was that low. It's 54 out of 100.
Ooh, rough. It's because Knack 2 was the gem.
I thought it was going to be like a 7. I mean, Destructo gave it a 7. Chuck, Destructo just love these launch games for the PS4.
Is this all so Dale North that reviewed this? It sure was. You know what, Dominic? I don't know.
I mean, who's Dale North?
I don't know, but that's the person that reviewed these games.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely bought by someone.
I've heard the name before. I mean, I've been going to Destructoid forever now, but
he's Nolan North's brother.
Maybe. He's like, look, I got these lucrative contracts as Nathan Drake. You can't mess this up for me.
All right, so what we got? Destructoid gave it a 7. Edge gave it a 3 out of 10. Electronic Gaming gave it a 4.5 out of 10. Good God. I was about to say 4.5 out of 5, I thought, but then I just, oh, never mind. Yeah. Well, Game Informer got 8.25, so Game Informer was pretty high on these games too. At least saying they're good. Giant Bomb definitely wasn't high on it. 2 out of 5 stars. Joystick was only got 1.5 stars. It wasn't really viewed well, man. This is but Nax plus they really showed off, I guess, the little Nax. The
voxels or whatever. They definitely utilize that to basically show off that system. Because this is a time when, like, at least now with backwards compatibility, you got something to play, but there was console after console after console, but especially like this generation, the PS4 and the Xbox One generation, where like launch games were just abysmal, basically.
Yeah.
That's why I ended up playing so much Black Flag, because that was basically the only thing I really wanted to play on my PS4.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And I see that you didn't do you didn't put up, well, Contrast it's sort of big, because I just know it from a launch game.
Yeah, that's what I was about. What I was thinking actually is, like, you can tell how bad the launch is because this is the launch of these systems, and the only ones really worth mentioning are the 2 that we already mentioned. Yeah, Contrast was a big game because it was also a PlayStation Plus game. So basically anybody that had a PS4 and had PlayStation Plus could, download that and give it a try. But it was, basically an indie game.
Yeah, and it was mediocre.
Yeah.
It got a 62 out of 100 on Metacritic.
And everything else is just re-releases, Injustice Ultimate Edition, Just Dance, even Assassin's Creed. That already came out. We talked about it,
Oh, Flower.
Yeah.
It's just a great game. I heard it was a great game, but it's just, it's a re-release. So that's some of the launch games on the system. I'm trying to see, that was it. Was that it for PS4?
Resogun, I think, was also kind of a big one, just because I think that was also a PlayStation Plus thing. So,
and the big game, Mario Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Olympic Games.
Yeah. So this wasn't the first one came out of that series, but it's got to be. I was looking at the review scores. Like, this has to be one of the lowest rated Mario games ever, right? Like,
so is even lower rated than the first Mario Sonic game?
I don't know. I have to see. Let's see.
Well, it's because it's the Winter Olympics. They suck compared to the Summer Olympics.
I don't know. You got like skiing and snowboarding and stuff. That's fun.
Yeah, they still suck compared to the Summer Olympics. You tell me that's better than the best sports in the Summer Olympics? I'd rather watch swimming.
I wouldn't rather watch swimming.
Nah, I would.
Gymnastics.
It's actually racing. They're actually racing. The skiers ain't racing. They're going down by themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you do cross country skiing, and then they got guns on their backs, don't they?
Oh yeah, but then that's just walking in snow. Sometimes, man. Nah, it's I don't know. It's just awkward walking.
God, this is actually the fourth game in that series, Dominic, because they did the Olympic Games, then they did the Winter Olympic Games, then they did the London Summer Games. So.
Oh, okay. So, and this is the worst one.
I don't know if it's the worst one. Let me see if I can get the scores on these other ones. It's Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, you're right. It's the worst Mario game. Mario brought it down. There was just Sonic Olympic Games and been all right.
See, I was going to argue that by the addition of Sonic, you just immediately bring down any game that you include him in. So
it's like, well, the developer is Sega. The publisher is just Nintendo.
Exactly. Doing my boy Mario wrong, Dominic. Can't do this to him. Let's see. Do they have the Metacritic on here? All right. Let me give this one last search and then see what we got. Metacritic. Nah, I don't want the
my
Tokyo
TV app
games.
is just acting up.
Yeah, that's a 67 for the original game. 69 for the Switch game, so
none of these games really are particularly like great games.
Good.
I mean, they're
you
kind of like the Mario
none of them
Party.
are good.
Yeah,
but they sell like crazy, or at least at one point I think they did.
Yeah,
kids love Mario.
Kids, they don't know standards. They don't have standards. I blame the parents. Anyway, all right. So that is it for 2013, I believe. Yes, that is it. So now we're going back 20 years, 2003, and we got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
I actually played this game. I don't know if I beat it. I know I played it.
Yeah, I did too.
It.
I don't think I beat it though either.
Yeah, I did enjoy what I played. I just didn't finish it because other things came up. But yeah, this is one of those Mario RPGs games for the Game Boy Advance, which were pretty good, man. And this got like a 90 out of 100.
Yeah, this was the first one. So yeah, it was basically
3DS
like the
version
spiritual successor
81?
to Super Mario RPG.
Like, why did that guy low score? Did the 3D just mess it up or something?
Maybe.
But yeah, this is good all around, really. I mean, I think somebody gave it an 8 edge, but they have high standards there.
Of course.
But yeah, man, this game, I mean, I like the creativity, and the funny zaniness of it, comedy that they have there, slapstick humor and stuff like that.
I like
they
the
have
active turn-based combat, where you're actually like pressing buttons to defend or doing extra hard hitter stuff like that too.
That's been normalized now. Like I see that a lot. Like it seemed like that was new with them doing it. Like with Mario RPG, starting Mario RPG.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just I see it everywhere, and a lot of these RPGs now that is just kind of like almost like a standard. It's always like weird when you don't have it.
Exactly. It's boring just to sit there and watch people take turns.
Yeah, which is Dragon Quest. All right. I was trying to think. Anything else to mention about this game? Oh, the look of it, like the cell shady. They got like a cell shady kind of look to it, like a cell shady pixel look to it. That kind of with it, like dark outlines over the characters. That was pretty interesting, and it's pretty cool for that Game Boy Advance screen.
Yeah,
but when you blow it up on something bigger, I don't like it. All right, so what we got here? We got Mario Kart Double Dash. Yeah. This is one where you actually have 2 people on one cart, and this is the only game that you have that happen. Mm-hmm. So, hey, tell me about this game, Daniel, because I've never played this.
Yeah, so basically that was kind of the gimmick of this one. I know there are like 2 camps where it's like this is the best thing ever or this is the worst thing ever. I came to it a little bit later because I don't think I got it immediately. I was kind of like iffy about it. And not just because of the double dash mechanic. I think it was at a time where I couldn't, just get any game I wanted. And I wasn't huge on the 2 character thing because like you couldn't hold 2 items like you used to. It would basically be like the person in the back seat was holding an item, so you had to swap between them. Overall, I think the courses were fine, but there aren't any that like stick out in my head. Outside of Baby Park for some reason, I think because it's come back in other ones, but that's just like this long oval course, and it's not really anything too interesting. Not my favorite in the series, but a perfectly fine outing. I think this is also where like the meme for do they have the score on here? Yeah, the 7.9 meme, because IGN gave it a 7.9. So like everything then on was like, oh yeah, if you're really bad, you get a 7.9 from IGN.
IGN, yeah, and GameSpot gave it a 7.9. I was gonna say,
also. Ironically enough, they did too, but I feel like they did not get the same kind of heat that IGN did. But granted, I think this was also like at a time when I was on the IGN forums a lot. So like maybe that's why I remember it being an IGN thing more than anybody else.
A 7.9.
Yeah.
It couldn't get that 1 point, Daniel. Couldn't get that
Meanwhile,
0.1
Game
point.
Informer's got it at a 9.25, you know.
Oh, yeah.
EGM's got a 9.3.
That's why I would, when I later on, when I would start going on the internet, I was surprised people saying how they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, damn, Game Informer getting 9.25. That's all I saw was Game Informer.
Yeah.
So I was like, darn, this is a bad game.
And Edge out here again, giving a 5 out of 10. Like, what are they doing?
They're standards. They have high standards, Daniel.
Games are art.
Listen, they held these people to a high standard. They saying like, no, you need to do better. Do better.
They actually, as it turns out, they just use the entirety of the scale. So like a 5 is perfectly fine. It's not great, but you know, it's not like an IGN 5. It's where it's like, this is abysmal. Yeah. Don't touch this game ever.
All right. So now we're looking at another big release, Need for Speed Underground.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Like a lot of people enjoyed this game, even though critics weren't really high on it. Apparently, they were pretty okay.
They didn't know nothing, Dominic.
Except for Game Informer. See, that's why I thought this was a great game.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, this is a great game. This is a 9.5. Like, because I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. My cousin, not my cousin, my nephew had it. I remember playing his. Actually, I don't know if it's his. I think it was my girlfriend's boyfriend's son at the time.
My girlfriend's boyfriend.
My nephew was I said my wait a minute. My sister's boyfriend at the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I had those. We had those type of relationship. It was an open relationship, Daniel. Yep. Back then. I had. So, but anyway, my sister's boyfriend son at the time, and he was friends with my nephew. I think my nephew had it, and I was playing it, and yeah, and I really liked it, man. Like I was like, oh man, this is really good. It's like this is and because I've been playing Gran Turismo, I was like, oh thank God, like arcade. This is like arcade racing. I like it's like that instead of like freaking got a break every freaking 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to enjoy the courses. I used to enjoy the look of it, man. The neon look. I think they had the turbo.
Put
or
that
something
underglow and you hit the nitrous. Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, man. Plus the Fast and Furious was still a thing, like a thing around.
That was
so
peak.
I was like really thinking about that. You know, and yeah, I was really into that vibe. So yeah, but now look at these other scores, like of course Edge, you know. They got the 7, so that's normal.
Still better than Double Dash.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, 8.9 from IGN on the PS2.
Yeah.
7. Eurogamer gave it a 7. 8.7. So yeah, I mean, it got an 84 on the PS2. And they got about 80s, around the 80 ranges up here. Except for the Game Boy Advance version, but I don't count anyway.
No,
probably have a game up there anyway. But yeah, it sold well. I mean, this is like peak Need for Speed, man. This is like I think Need for Speed at its top. You know, like this is the height.
Yeah,
this is the height of it
for the original. Before you get the Rock in there and stuff like that. Yeah.
You said before to get the Rock.
Yeah, Need for Speed. Or I'm sorry, yeah, you said Need for Speed. I'm sitting here thinking of Fast and the Furious.
Need for Speed. Yep. What you talking
about? I'm talking about Fast and the Furious.
Oh, you talking?
Because like this is very much that in game form, right? Like the nitrous, the underglow, all that stuff. You know, the street racing, the Japanese import cars. They should have put the Rock in the game down, and that's why it failed.
Oh yeah, but that was peak like time for the Rock, too. Like everybody loved the Rock. Well, everybody still sort of loved the Rock too, but some people.
I don't know. He's on Joe Rogan now, Dominic. I don't know if we can support.
I was about to say. That's what I'm saying. Some things. This is in this post-Trump era. Things that people are waking up to stuff. Anyway, what else we got here? We got Counter-Strike, man, on Xbox. Yeah. Yes, they got the Half-Life Counter-Strike up here.
I thought you were gonna say the half-baked version. I just remember this being a huge thing for the Xbox. I mean, I didn't have one at the time, but like is one of their big online games to get like Counter-Strike, which was huge on the PC at the time. Like, oh,
yeah,
man.
I know nothing about Counter-Strike back then. Like, this is not on my radar. I know nothing about Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
So, like, I seen this. I saw they had it, and I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care. I don't care. It's not on PlayStation. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is huge. 74 on Metacritic, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine for Xbox. I think. I mean, of course, the PC is going to be better. I mean, your mouse and keyboard, better graphics, and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for the Xbox to even be able to have this and have some other online game, I mean, that was cool, man. I mean, this helped build up the brand of the Xbox Live, which is help gaming all around. But yeah, I never played Counter-Strike in my life to this day.
I think
I've seen it,
touched it a couple of times, but never like dedicated any real time to it.
Like, what do you do? Like, what is it different from other shooters?
It's basically like a objective type thing, like Call of Duty, where you're defusing the bombs. I can't remember what that mode was, but it's basically like that, where you're going through. If you're playing as the terrorist, you're going through, you're setting the bombs, and if you're playing as the military or whatever, you're going in trying to defuse them. It's teams of, I think, like, is it 4 or is it like many more than that? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that is just outlived the competitive scene of everything. Basically, it's just existed. Now it seems like. All
right, so now we got Final Fantasy X-2. We talked about the game on the covers already, so that's released. Manhunt, has released. We talked about this game on the cover before too, like it was mentioned on one of the covers. But yes, Manhunt, Rockstar game, stuff. What's it called? I said stuff film.
Snuff film.
Snuff film.
Yeah.
Well, they stuff them after they snuff them. But yeah, that's the first time I ever heard of snuff film. I know what a snuff film was before then. I had no reason to, because I didn't watch shit like that on the internet. Like, only thing I watched on the internet was porn. So like, I wasn't, and like, I would 8 hours for that to download. I damn sure was gonna wait no hours to watch somebody get killed in 5 seconds. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. So because I still didn't like when I heard like this was like some like snuff film. I was like, what the fuck is that? It's like people killing each other in film. So okay, but anyway,
why?
Yeah. I mean, I understand why, but I just didn't know that they actually would put it up. I was like, don't they get caught? Don't you? What is that? It's like, how do you? I don't know. So why would you put evidence? Why you put evidence of shit like that happening? But I don't know. People weird. All right. So, but yeah. Manhunt, I enjoyed that game. I liked it, like trying to avoid people and killing guys and executions. Even though I heard that they said they edited stuff because it was too brutal or something like that.
Yeah, was that it was. I think it was that whole thing where it's like we've talked about like the difference between means of murder, because like, oh yeah, I can play first person shooters all day. But like, you play a video game where you sneak up behind somebody and put a bag over their face, and maybe all of a sudden it's too far.
Yeah,
I think that was the problem, right? Like the intimate killings that were portrayed in this game, and of course, tie that in with the snuff film nature of it, because it very much was like, oh, I'm looking at my character through a security cam or something like that.
Yeah, it had kind of that like those type of films, like movies, Seven-ish kind of feel,
like Jigsaw vibe, because there was this character that was watching you do this stuff that basically put you in that position, right? Because it was like all the guys you were killing, I don't remember, like all the guys you were killing in it were bad guys, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, they were bad guys. Yes, that's what you told yourself. Yes. Oh, Saw came out a year later.
Oh, really? I'm surprised by that. I would have thought that it came out right around the same time.
Yeah, it came out 2004.
Meanwhile, that series continues on, and Manhunt died on the vine as a Wii exclusive.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Did Manhunt 2 come on Wii too? Was it like a 2-pack?
I thought Manhunt 2 was... That one's Wii exclusive, right? Or are you saying did Manhunt come on as well?
Manhunt 2. I'm thinking about Switch now.
Yeah.
For some reason. That's right. Manhunt. That is so fucking weird.
Nintendo was trying to be edgy, Dominic.
All right. So now we got Better Arms glitch in the system that came on the PS2, Xbox, and it came on the GameCube.
Yeah.
So tell me about this game, Daniel.
This was basically Ratchet and Clank for people that didn't have a PlayStation 2, Dominic. That's how I viewed it.
That's what,
when I got it for the GameCube.
There was no fucking Ratchet and Clank. It was not no damn Ratchet and Clank.
It was a little robot. He had a good personality. It was a solid third-person shooter for, that generation where we hadn't quite figured out how those games should play. It maybe doesn't quite hold up today if you went back to it, but I don't know. And then the developer Swingin' Ape actually went on to work on StarCraft Ghost before that ended up getting canceled, and they just got absorbed into Blizzard. So, yeah, some pedigree there, Dominic.
All right. And last but not least, we got 13 on the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox and Windows came out.
I don't know, Dominic. This came out the same day as all these other games, basically. So maybe it is last and least.
So yes, Ubisoft published game. Also developed by Ubisoft Paris. This game was a first-person shooter, but it was really known for it being like a cel-shaded.
Yep, cel-shaded, super animated. You could pick up like things in the environment and throw bottles. It was very like comic book inspired too, because you would have, if you like threw a bottle at somebody that was far away, you would get like these action panels that showed up as it smashed on the person's head. It was a really cool concept that I don't think was executed in any spectacular way. Like it was a fine game, but it wasn't great. And I mean, at the end of the day, it was basically a generic first person shooter with a little bit of lipstick on it, just gussied up a little bit to look different. And then of course they came out with that remaster that made it somehow worse. And then they were going to re-release. I think they maybe have at this point re-released that re-release to hopefully make it better. But yeah, it's almost like one of those things that you wonder if it was like, maybe just leave that thing alone in the past and let it just be nostalgic, I
wonder what Edge gave it, because I'm looking at the review for it, just written, because they don't have the review number on the side. But they have the quote from it, which is weird. Edge said 13 had true artistic merit. It never gets stale. Every episode has been drawn with the minute care and attention. It would have been an incredible achievement if the gameplay had matched the outstanding art direction. I wonder what the score was.
I feel like, so that quote looks like it, does it? Yeah, it goes to Games. No, that's the Game Zone one. So do they? Okay, 36. 36. Oh, it just goes back to it. It's no longer connected to a page if it was connected to a page at some point.
Darn.
I think they're just European too, so they gave it a good score.
Yeah, sure, they're biased. But yeah, I mean, look at the Metacritic overall, about the 70s range. So not bad. Not bad. It's just pretty just good. Yeah. A little above mediocre, probably. Overall. Mm-hmm. Like it's just a fine game. Like you said, it's really just the look of it that's really just
that makes it like nobody would be talking about this game if it weren't for the fact that it at least looked interesting.
Yep. That's what I say about Zelda games. I mean, the last two Zelda games. I said if they weren't called Zelda, the game would just be wherever the hell that game was called.
Hey, I played Oceanhorn 2.
Oh no, well, no, that'll count. No, that's like the good Zelda. I'm talking about your open worldness Zelda you got going on here
I know.
with breakable weapons.
Well, that's what they tried to do with Oceanhorn too. I don't know how successful that was for them. My
Oh, well, then I
Elden
hope it
Ring of
wasn't.
Zeldas.
All right, so and now we're going back 30 years. I had to do some math. 30 years ago to 1993, and this is huge, people. Sony Interactive Entertainment Incorporated was established. Well, I think it was Sony Computer Entertainment Incorporated at the
It
time.
ruined video
I
games
think turned
Dominic forever.
Interactive later, but yes, they were established in 1993. Sony was like, you know what, we did well with the Walkman, so let's go ahead and start making video games.
I wish they hadn't.
So this is before they've established. Then they went to Nintendo. Then Nintendo said no, and well, as it was written up in this thing I was reading, they said Nintendo's tore up their agreement. I wonder, did they literally tore it up, or that's just expression?
I could just see like what was it, Sakaguchi at the time or whatever, just old ass
Yeah.
man just ripping it in front of some exec at Sony.
I was like, well, I have another copy of it right here.
You're delivering me
Give me that
trash. Get it out of my office.
But anyway,
They took Final Fantasy
Yeah,
away from
so-
us, Dominic. How dare them?
it's the start. Yeah, it's the start,
Start
man,
of the downfall.
Sony. Until it's of the greatness of Sony, man. The greatness of Sony. I definitely not like. I remember when seeing the PlayStation first announced. I didn't even think much of it because I was still thinking of Sega and Nintendo as just the gaming world. And then Sega Saturn came out, so I was just thinking like, oh, there's Sega Saturn. And I say, well, what's Nintendo going? I don't know what Nintendo's going to do in their new system. Then N64, I was like, oh, N64 looks awesome. I want N64, and I got N64. Like my parents, they said I had to choose between the three, which one I wanted.
Yeah.
And my dad told me all the things you can do. You say, Sega, you get 3 free games for Christmas or something like that. And Sony, I don't know if they gave you anything. You get demo disc. But
You get a console where you could pirate all their games.
and then Nintendo, because of Mario RPG. I mean, I said Mario RPG because of Mario 64. Man,
Yeah.
I really wanted N64. And then Final Fantasy is when I really wanted a PlayStation. Then I wanted a PlayStation because of Final Fantasy 7. And then I got that, man. And then I just became a PlayStation guy, man, until 3. Until 3 and 360. Because 3, they said they wanted $500, $600 for something. And I was like, and that's when I was too old. My parents said they weren't going to buy me shit like that no more. I had to buy stuff on my own. And I was like, well, I ain't paying $600 or $500 for a console.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll be getting an Xbox 360. But I was mostly Sony guy, man. I remember in middle school, just always just talking about PlayStation games and things of that nature. I remember like a high school PS2, couldn't fucking wait. I mean, Sony, man, yeah, they really come big. They really came big in the industry, man. They done very well.
Yeah.
Good for them. A happy 30th birthday, Sony. Happy 30. Oh God, 30 fucking years in computer entertainment.
But also only 30 years.
Yeah, only 30 years. So Nintendo's what? 40. I mean, just Nintendo. Like, I ain't talking about the company. Like
talking
Sony
about-
PlayStation is 96, so it's a little so it's just 20 what 9, no, that's it, 29. Okay, I'm stupid. 20 27 years. So what is
The NES
What's
came out in
Nintendo?
85 in the US.
oh, okay. Oh, so it's just
83 in
me, it's my
Japan.
age.
Nope.
30. Oh, never mind. Well, Japan, and then it's 40. So 40 years.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, we didn't mention about when does the Nintendo system come out in Japan?
October, no, that's United States. I don't know if they're going to have a specific date because it's always Video games that old, they're always kind of weird, but let me see if I can find something here.
God darn. Because I'm about to say, we missed it. Because I don't remember us saying happy 40th anniversary, 40 years to Nintendo Entertainment System.
July 15th, 1983.
Damn, we missed it. Well, fuck it. I'm waiting for the U.S. I'm waiting for the U.S. Because, anyway, it's called the Famicom, I think. So, who gives a fuck? Who's the shit? I hate that name. I swear.
But it's a family computer, Dominic. How dare you?
I know what it stands for. Famicom.
You just hate families. I understand.
And it's ugly.
And the controllers are attached to it, which is dumb.
And the Super Famicom was ugly too. What they call it, Famicom? But they didn't call it Famicom 64, did they?
No.
They knew the name was horrible.
But they also didn't call it Entertainment 64, so. Haha. Touche, Dominic.
All right, so that is it for the flashback segment. So we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. Another week, another list of people that are getting laid off. I'm not going to dwell on this too long. We've talked about this basically every week for the last 20 episodes. This time it's Amazon. They laid off 180 people from their games division. And Embracer Group, who has basically tried to swallow up half of the industry, has now laid off around 900 employees. Embracer Group just seems like the biggest failure of video games of late. Like during the pandemic, when I guess interest rates went down and it was easy to get money for these companies, it seemed like they gobbled up as much as they basically could with no plan whatsoever. And then whatever deal that they were going to do with whatever that company was, I can't remember who it ended up coming out as, that said no, we're not going to do this deal after all. I think it was the Saudi investment fund or something like that. And they were like, nah, I don't think we are going to do that deal. And they just fell flat on their face immediately. So let them burn to the ground. Hopefully the people that work for them can find, other jobs. And hopefully the companies that got devoured by them, like Crystal Dynamics, can find ways out. I don't know what to say anymore, Dominic, but this is, I thought last week with Bungie was kind of egregious, but now here we are with Embracer Group, just talking about the same stuff. I mean, Amazon too, not to say, they're not fucking up, but Embracer Group. Well, what else do you have?
Yeah, but both of these, Embracer Group, I don't even know. Okay, I know they got the Square Enix stuff. Who else they have?
Embracer. What did they get? Is that THQ stuff, I think? Or is that the other one? Is that Koch Media? Oh, they've got Gearbox. They've got THQ. Saber Interactive.
But Gearbox is not with 2K no more.
No. Gearbox is under them now. Yeah, the Square Enix stuff, like you said, the Eidos stuff. Oh, they got Limited Run Games. I forgot about that. They also own Dark Horse, the comics. Also Aspire. They're the kind of port house that was working on Knights of the Old Republic and stuff, which I didn't have it on here because it's basically just rumor hearsay stuff. But basically it's coming from Jeff Grubb, who is one of the guys in the latest iteration of Giant Bomb. I actually quite enjoy what he does, but he does a morning news show every weekday. And I think in one of the latest episodes, he basically said, yeah, nobody's actually working on that KOTOR remake anymore. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere right now because there's literally no one working on it, which seems about right. I mean, based on what we've heard over the last couple of years now, where it was oh yeah, they made this video package for it, but then they made an actual playable demo for it, and that cost so much that they couldn't logistically make it make sense to to have this company do the entire game, and then it got shuffled off to some other developer, and basically that's where it seemingly died. So I wonder if we see that anytime soon. I mean, I don't know what I would consider anytime soon at this point. If I saw rumblings of that game before 2030, I think I would be surprised at this point. But yeah, I just don't know how you like run a business like this. Like, meanwhile, I believe they are actually doing surprisingly good business wise. But yeah, they're basically the ones that were like, oh yeah, here's the new whatchamacallit. Fuck, why am I blanking on the name of it? Saints Row. And once that came out and failed, it was like, oh yeah, these guys don't have anything. Although now I'm looking at it and they own PlayOn, which is formerly Koch Media. Okay, so they are related to all that stuff. And that was also Dead Island 2, which I think did decently well. So, you know, maybe they were making money. They also own Flying Wild Hogs and Free Radical. Yeah, so they own a lot of stuff, but as far as I can think, there aren't many games coming out of them right now.
The employees that left, it's kind of like all over the place?
Yeah.
Like in those studios?
Yeah,
okay.
It's basically a lot of the sub studios are getting hit pretty hard on these. Yeah, so it's just industry is absolutely wrecked. Yeah, so to get into the actual games related news, Nintendo had a Indie World Showcase this past week. I didn't really see much of it worth talking about, but they did announce Shantae Advance Risky's Revolution, which was a game that WayForward was working on for the Game Boy Advanced back in the day, basically as a sequel to Shantae, and it got canceled. It was never released, but they're actually going to finish the game up and release it on the Game Boy Advance, and then also release it as part of like a limited run cartridge thing. And then they're also going to release it as a PC and console game in early 2024. So
that's crazy.
It is. It's kind of cool that they're also releasing it as a Game Boy Advance game. I don't know from a business move how smart that is, because I know how easy it is to pirate Game Boy games. So like that, I mean, not to say shit, man. I guess it's not to say it's not easy to pirate Switch games, because, you know, Super Mario RPG has been up on the internet for a week now before it's released. So I guess that's not really going to change much of anything.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that looks pretty cool. It is a Game Boy Advance game. You know, I'd really like to see them, you know, do more in the way of like HD artwork. Like their pixel artwork is impressive, but I'd
see.
Really
that's
like
what I
see
thought
them.
it was, Daniel, because I didn't read it. I just knew that Shantae Advance, and I was just thinking like, oh, this is going to be like look like regular Shantae.
Yeah.
Just it was going to release, and then you telling me this, I was a little disappointed. I was a little disappointed, because I was like, I thought it was going to be look like the regular Shantae games, like the ones that came out recently. I mean, the most recent ones. I didn't know it was going to be a Game Boy Advance, the actual Game Boy Advance look of it. So, I mean, that's all right. It was like, I mean, I don't know. I kind of just want.
My only problem with it from looking at the video is like, for a modern screen that's bigger, the sprite and how much it takes up of the screen is like way too big. It feels very zoomed in on the character, whereas like screens nowadays that are high definition and whatnot, you don't need to make the sprite, you know, 2/3 the size of the screen.
Well, they got to get those boobies in there.
They got to get the wiggle and the shaking areas. They do. Yes, we know what WayForward does best. All right, Dominic, and then kind of the other, I guess, big quote-unquote story that came out this week. Last of Us Part 2 is getting a PS5 remaster. That is good. I don't know if I should say. Well, is it being referred to as remaster? It might be being called a remaster. Let's see.
Yeah, it's remastered.
Okay.
It's remastered. It's definitely not a remake.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know if they were just calling it like, PS5.
Oh yeah.
There's not.
I mean, it is coming up with. Okay, I'm seeing it now. It is coming up with some extra mission. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's coming with cut content apparently, and of course improved graphics. For however much they can actually improve that game. I mean, obviously, Last of Us Part 2 was quite impressive on the PS4. But that's coming out January 19th next year.
60 frames per second. Even though the other one, if you bring it to the PS4, it upgrades to 60 frames per second. They have it on the original one. It's just amazing that like this game, like how many games The Last of Us are there? Is it like 6 of them or 5 of them? Between two, really 2 games.
5 full ones, yeah. There have been 3 extra releases of the 2 original games. That's the first comment on this PlayStation blog where they announced it is, will Naughty Dog ever work on another IP? Yeah. So I appreciate the fact that they are doing a $10 upgrade to this because there is additional content there.
That's a win.
The thing that I could not find in any of these announcements and all of these postings is what the price is going to be for not the upgraded version, because I could have swore like based on the internet, which is just people commenting. Okay. I didn't get nothing confirmed. They said $70. Okay, that would be bad.
That's why I'm saying the W for the 10. It's like, okay, we're giving a win to something that. I mean, it's like, yes, hey, at least they didn't. At least they went that route. I guess they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But they also didn't have to do this at all. I mean, maybe like.
I mean, further to that, also, I feel like the last time that this game was like massively on sale, it was like $15 or maybe even less than that.
Less than that, Yeah, you can.
And I didn't pick it up, but now they're doing the Black Friday sale right now, and that game's like $35. And I'm like, oh man,
that's ridiculous.
So like,
that's ridiculous.
It would be like $50 for me to buy that and then this. Whereas at like some point, I feel like I could have gotten it for like $15, including this $10. And now because they're doing this, they're not going to drop the price of that original one anymore. No, they're
not. That is. Oh my god!
Especially if this new one is going to be $70. I don't know. I just don't appreciate the fact that they haven't announced, again, seemingly, but I have specifically searched for the price across several articles, including this PlayStation blog post.
They got them torn down.
I've not been able to find them.
They were up there, Daniel. They got it torn down because they like, we got to hide it.
Yeah.
We got to hide it. Then
because they're also coming out with a special edition that you're going to be able to pre-order on December 5th. So I guess by then we'll find out the price. Because you got to get the WLF edition, which, like, on this box art, I couldn't quite tell what it said.
Like this edition, they should have this piece in here, like Joel is alive for all those people who are upset.
Hey, whoa! Spoilers!
Man, I'm sorry, but that's what happened.
Oh, he shouldn't have killed him. He's the best character.
Yeah, even though I still. I'm sorry for the people who are like upset by that and are for Joel at the end of that show. Because my mom was telling me about the show because she watched it, and even she said that the ending of the TV show that, like, I told her about like the part 2, and she said, "Well, it makes sense because he killed all those people."
Yeah,
and you don't know if, like, even if she didn't, them killing her and trying to get a cure and it didn't work, shouldn't you try?
Yeah.
Especially if she was willing.
Exactly. And if, in addition to that, now you're lying to her about what happened. So like, yeah, there's so
and these
many
people
levels
coming back for revenge. It's like there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's they say nothing wrong. But it's like
it's understandable.
After you killed you killed all those people in that hospital.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of had it coming, right? You gotta have it, right? I mean, it's probably lucky for you. You got to live these years out and to be like this. I mean, good on you. Yeah, I think that I don't know. And people who are like who find like this is wrong, like no, this isn't right. Like that's happened to Joel. It makes me think about you a certain way because I'm thinking like, what was the right thing then?
Yeah,
like you saying what he did was right. I said, huh? That's some messed up. I mean, you can they make all excuses. I said that yes, those are the excuses of why he did what he did. But it's fucked up.
Yep.
It ain't right. Ain't the right thing to do though. Those are just excuses.
Yeah. So, yeah, the lowest price that this game has been is $9.59 if you had PlayStation
Daniel,
Plus.
you could have got it.
I should have got it. I would have had this game for $20.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, they are also adding a new mode. It's a roguelike mode apparently. So they are adding some content.
What's the PC version of the game coming out?
That's a good question. Never.
Yeah, come on, Sony, man. See y'all some
6 months after this.
Man.
They're already remastering it before they even come out with the PC version.
I was like, at least have that come out the same fucking time.
Yeah.
Damn.
I wonder. I also can't help but wonder if this roguelike mode has like, is this content that they're taking from that multiplayer game that's maybe not happening anymore? And like, hey, we got to do something with this. We paid a lot of money to a lot of people to make this content, and if we're not releasing this game, maybe we should do this. So, also, like, I do want to say, like, I'm giving them a little credit for this $10 thing, but at the same time, in a lot of ways, this is just what Xbox was doing with their games between the generations, you know? Like, hey, you can play this Xbox One game on the Xbox Series, and it runs and looks better and uses the HDR features that
so
did not announce,
Daniel,
you know? So like
that people were complaining, like people were making excuses for why PlayStation wasn't just being open about their backwards compatibility, like in the start, because they said, "Listen, we want to focus on the future."
Yes, we do.
And that was kind of, that was a good argument.
Yeah,
I said, okay,
if it proved out.
But I ain't seeing it. Like you do have most of the games are kind of backwards compatible. So that did happen, but
yeah,
but you got these new games that are not really new that's been coming out and people got to pay for it. What the fuck?
They're doing the Nintendo method, Dominic.
This is and it's not like it's from the PS3 era. This is from the PS4 era.
This is from a game that released, what, like 6 months max before the PlayStation 5 came out? Because didn't it come out in like June or July, and then the PlayStation came out in like November?
Yes.
Of the same year.
It's amazing, man. It is amazing. It's like, yo, what the F are you doing? I mean, this is... And they're... Oh, man, whatever. Just whatever. Well, can this win Game of the Year? Can this win Game of the Year too? Or
Next year it can. Yep.
Is there a category for best remake of the year?
Not yet.
Maybe he'll make it this time just for that.
Once RE4 gets robbed this year, then we're gonna make it next year so that we can right those wrongs. All right, Dominic. So that is basically the game news in general that I saw this week. But we did get the announcement of the nominations for Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, which will be coming up.
PlayStation Awards.
Oh, okay.
The Jeff Keighley non-Xbox Awards.
Maybe if they had something to talk about, they'd be in here. We'll see. We'll see, Dominic. All right, so I didn't list every category here. We don't typically talk about the esports stuff. Although that tweet that you sent me where the coach is in the category as a nominee and he's like, I didn't even coach this year. Why am I on this list? That was pretty funny. So I will shout that out. But I'm going to kick this off with Best Performance, which was Ben Starr's Clive from Final Fantasy, Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker from Spider-Man, Cameron Monaghan from Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Melanie Luberd as Saga from Alan Wake 2, Neil Newborn from Baldur's Gate 3, and then Idris Elba in Cyberpunk 2077, The Phantom Liberty. You have played some of these games, Dominic. I have also played some of these games. Is there any performance, especially in like Baldur's Gate, which I haven't played, that sticks out to you?
I'm trying to remember who the fuck this is. In Baldur's Gate. Oh, I think if it is the vampire, yes.
Okay.
Like he's a flamboyant. Well, I guess technically because everybody's bi, but
Sure.
That's just it. He's gay. But he is good. He is good. I like him. Like I was saying, like I want to do another playthrough because he's kind of because every time I had him a party, he'll be against the stuff I'm doing because I think he's mostly, I wouldn't say bad, but he kind of leans towards a more selfish way of things. And so I was like, I don't want him to keep disapproving. So I leave him in camp, but I do talk to him in camp, and I like the way he talks. And like I want to do another bad playthrough and have him on a party and stuff to see because he does it is a great performance. Like he should win. Like hands down. I mean, okay, I didn't play Final Fantasy 16, but come on, it's Final Fantasy 16. That shouldn't win.
I mean, that seems. He seemed fine from the demo I played, but it wasn't blowing me away.
The guy Cameron Morgan, Monaghan. I mean, I like him as an actor. Period. I think he's a good actor. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, like I wouldn't mind him winning, even though I didn't play Jedi Survivor. But based on like I liked him in Gotham. Even though I'm not a big Shameless guy, I did like what I saw of him in there. And I liked him in the first Jedi game. What was that one called?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, yeah. And Idris Elba, I'm sure he was good in Cyberpunk 2077.
I'm sure he's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm sure that, so maybe he might win, even though I don't want him to win.
I wouldn't be surprised from Jeff Keighley just because we know he's a star effer, you know? Like just if this would get Idris Elba on his show, you know, he would do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did say, because like somebody said, he did want this to be the Oscar of games, and they basically sellouts. so good on him if he does it. But yeah, I think Neil Newborn Bond. I'll be surprised that these other performances are better than him.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, I would say from what I've seen of Saga, that actress is very good so far. But yeah, from what I've heard of Baldur's Gate 3, like that is a standout performance.
All right. So what? Okay. So what's the next one?
Next one is best. Excuse me. Next up is best adaptation. That is, you know, video game to film or show.
No, we already know who won this one, but go ahead and say it.
All right. Castlevania Nocturne, The Last of Us, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Twisted Metal, and Gran Turismo.
The Last of Us is going to win and should win, probably.
That feels like a given. I did enjoy Twisted Metal. I don't know about Gran Turismo. I kind of want to watch that.
That should be better. I think the worst. Well, you know what? I didn't finish Nocturne.
Yeah,
I didn't finish it. I'm not feeling it like I felt the first one so far. But you know what? I'm going to say it. Mario Brothers is the worst thing on here. But even though I didn't see Gran Turismo, so I don't know between that. But I watched the first episode of Twisted Metal. That was enough to say that. Oh, I mean, you can't really compare them. But if I had to choose, like somebody said, well, you had to watch one. Well, even though that's a series, but still, if they had to watch one, I'm not watching Super Mario Brothers. Again. I mean, I'll rather just go watch Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Like I said, Mario has no substance. There's no substance in that movie.
No, and we know that the Game Awards is all about substance, Dominic.
Yep.
Honestly, if The Last of Us was not on this list, I'm pretty sure that the Super Mario Brothers movie would win.
Oh, that would have won. Yep.
Because, like, as you were saying, like, we know who's going to win. I'm looking, I was like, oh, yeah, the Super Mario. Oh, yeah, The Last of Us on there. Okay. Yeah, that was the beginning of this year, so. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, that should win. So, all right, next up, best community support, Dominic. Baldur's Gate 3. Mean? What's up?
Oh, like the community playing the game?
I'm not totally sure, mods? To be honest with you.
Mods and stuff. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't think so, because not with these games.
Well, like, Baldur's Gate, that's multiplayer, right? You can play with multiple people.
You can play multiple.
Yeah. So maybe it is, but that's not exactly multiplayer. Is it friendly multiplayer?
The one that sticks out to me that doesn't really make sense, and I'm gonna have to look and see if they have a description of this. But like Final Fantasy, why is that? Oh wait, no, that's 14.
Is it people? Okay. On Twitter,
so that makes
saying
more
how
sense,
good the games are.
Yes, exactly. It's whoever gets the most support in a Twitter poll, Dominic.
Yeah, like okay.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
But go ahead, say the games.
That makes more sense. Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, and No Man's Sky.
Come on, those Xbox, man, they be out there for those games. And they couldn't get
Starfield up here. All right, so this is recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, basically like best ongoing game, even though best ongoing game is its own, thing.
That's something I can't. I have no opinion on whatsoever. So it's like, you do what the hell you want.
It doesn't seem like Destiny's winning, considering their entire player base has fallen off and their studio has fired a whole bunch of people. I would think it's between Cyberpunk 2077 and Baldur's Gate 3. I would say Cyberpunk 2077 strictly because, like, this is the redemption year for them, right? Like with Phantom Liberty, people are going back and revisiting that game, going, "Oh, it's not so bad." They've also improved a lot of stuff, and now with Phantom Liberty, it's actually also very good. So I think that could squeak it out. Although, like, Final Fantasy 14 is a wild card that feels like oh yeah, those nerds are still playing that game. So. All right, next up, Games for Impact, A Space for the Unbound, Chance of the Senar, Goodbye Volcano High, Chia, Terra Nil, and Venba. So I am familiar with, I think, 4 of these games. I have played 2 of these games, and I don't know that I necessarily have an opinion because I'm not totally sure about these other 2. A Space for the Unbound and Terra Nil, really. So,
interesting. Because I'm not seeing a game. Maybe it's an independent game. Go ahead.
Which game? Okay, best independent game is Sea of Stars, Dredge, Viewfinder, Dave the Diver, and Cocoon.
I'm not seeing that game, Stray of Gods, anywhere.
Which one's that?
It's a game with that, like the musical. I remember when I looked it up.
Yeah. Now I remember it.
And that got nominated for a Grammy.
Oh wow.
That's not even in the music. Yeah, that's a snub. I think that's a snub.
We gotta talk to Keely about this, man. It's rough.
Like,
especially
dude,
there's a lot of talk about
Grammy and that got good reviews.
Yeah,
like that.
It did.
I have the game because I do want to give it I want to give it a shot before at least we do our awards just to get a feel for it.
Yeah.
But I just find it weird that it doesn't get nominated anywhere.
Yeah, because there's a lot of talk right now about like some of these independent games don't necessarily deserve to be on this list because they're being released from companies that are owned by companies that are very large, like Nexon. So like a lot of people are taking umbrage with Dave the Diver specifically because it's coming out of a studio that is flush with cash, apparently. So
yeah,
I don't know. I've heard good things about Dave the Diver, Dredge. I mean, basically all of these games. You've been playing Sea of Stars. I like Cocoon a lot. I need to go back and finish that, actually.
I thought you finished it.
No.
For some reason.
I think I'm right at the end, but yeah, I think, Spider-Man came out and that just kind of consumed me. So, all right. Best debut indie game, Venba, Dredge, Viewfinder, Pizza Tower, and Cocoon. Have you seen Pizza Tower?
No, I have not seen Pizza Tower, but I'm
kind of a Wario style game.
Oh, okay.
Not WarioWare, but like Wario platformer kind of thing.
Oh, well then I have no familiar with that.
Gotcha.
I know WarioWare. So debut is like first time ever making a game, right? The studio.
I don't know if it's yeah. That's exactly what it is. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, I like Cocoon a lot. I've heard great things about all of the rest of these, including Pizza Tower, which kind of looks super wacky. Basically, you're like this pizza chef, but like Wario style exaggerated features, and you're just like blasting your way through these levels in the same way that he would like shoulder rush through everything. So, all right, next up is Best in Accessibility. We got Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Street Fighter 6, and Mortal Kombat 1 and Hi-Fi Rush. We talked a bit about the features that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 includes, and it's pretty incredible. I know like Hi-Fi Rush was nice about having like the beat meter on screen because like obviously sometimes either you have trouble with hearing or just even people who have no auditory problems being able to like get the beat down. You need a little extra. Forza has been on the forefront of this stuff for a while now, even including like the ASL stuff. So yeah. I'm sure that's continuing on. I'm not totally sure what Diablo 4 is doing. Or honestly, Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat, but it's good to see that, these big name titles are on a list like this where they're, making it a point to do those features.
They have a feature in the Diablo 4 where it's like, do you want it to be Christian friendly?
Change the entire name of the game. All right, next up, Dominic, we got Best Multiplayer Game. We got Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Diablo 4, Street Fighter 6, Baldur's Gate 3, and Party Animals.
Party Animals.
Yeah, Party Animals looks like a lot of fun. I don't know that it necessarily beats out, some of the experiences that people may have with some of these others. I mean, especially like Baldur's Gate 3, the idea of basically doing like D&D in that game. And I've heard a lot of good things about the implementation of multiplayer in Super Mario Brothers Wonder as well. So yeah, Street Fighter, it feels like that's kind of just more of the same. Diablo 4, kind of similar, but yeah, I think there's not a lot of bad choices between the top tier of that category. Best VR AR game, we've got Horizon, Call of the Mountain, Humanity, Synapse, Gran Turismo 7, and Resident Evil Village VR mode.
Okay.
I wonder where that goes. I heard good things about Call of the Mountain when the PlayStation VR first came out. Haven't really heard much about the PlayStation VR since. So we shall see.
Because everybody's playing it and they don't have time to talk about it.
They don't have time to come out of VR, Dominic. They just exist in it now. Best fighting game. I mean, it's been quite the year for fighters. We also have Tekken coming out early next year, but this year in this category, we've got Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Stars Battle 2, of course, the best game of the category, God of Rock, which I'm not totally familiar with, and Pocket Bravery, which I'm also not.
Yeah, I had to look up God of Rock.
With. Do you just play different kinds of rocks? I want to be igneous.
No, you're a guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Looks like you're doing a rock battle or something, but you're doing something with that, but with guitars. So
yeah, that looks pretty interesting, and especially as like categorizing it as a fighting game. All right,
Pocket Bravery, I don't know what that is. Are those chibi fighters? I guess
it sounds like it would be. Pocket Bravery. It's just pocket monsters, but you know.
I was about to say, yeah.
What is this game? Is that Jinx from League of Legends?
Gigapets again. Gigafighters.
Oh, it's kind of cute. It's like a pixel art fighter with kind of chibi style characters. I wonder what that is. That's a mobile game or what? It's on Steam. I have not really heard about that. That's interesting. All right, next up, Best Family Game. You got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Pikmin 4, Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, and Sonic Superstars. I can assure you that Sonic Superstars is not winning this, Dominic. Otherwise, I'm not totally sure. I say that, but it's going to be Mario Wonder, right? Like Disney Illusion Island, I feel is a very good game. I've heard very good things about Pikmin 4. But Mario is a juggernaut in and of itself.
Oh, yeah.
So, like...
Yeah, it's going to be Mario Wonder.
We always say the best family game category is the Nintendo game category because they might not win another category. So, yeah. Best sports and racing sim, you got Forza Motorsport, Disney Speedstorm, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, Supercharged, EA Sports Football Club 24, and F1 23. Kind of hilarious to see Football Club in this category that is dominated by racing games. You played a very little bit of Speedstorm, didn't you?
Yeah, very little. So I mean, it's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right. I don't know. I didn't play. Only other game I play is Motorsport, so I have no idea who will win. Like, because I don't know F1 and the FC. Yeah. I don't know how people like those.
I wonder if the football club fans are enough to just overwhelm this category to make that.
Oh shit! Oh, I didn't realize. I kept just thinking about racing because I was trying to figure out what the hell FC stands for. Fast cars. Oh yeah,
This is their new non.
Because you said football, I was looking for Madden. I was like, I don't see Madden up here. Yeah, damn, this
Sorry,
America,
football.
Daniel. We call it soccer.
Hey, that's what they call it now. EA Sports Soccer 24. All right. Best simulation strategy game, Company of Heroes 3, City Skylines 2, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, Fire Emblem Engage, and Pikmin 4. Did Fire Emblem Engage really release this year, Dominic? Or was that at the end of last year when, like, nominations were already locked in or something like that?
I don't know.
January 20th, 2023. I cannot believe that game came out this year.
At the beginning of the game. Yeah, beginning of the year. Damn.
Jeez.
Nintendo had some games come out this year.
Yeah, they've had quite a year. Pikmin 4, if that's in that category, I would say I would not be surprised to see that game.
I am rooting for Company of Heroes.
It's really just Nintendo competing against itself. All right, best role-playing game. We got Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Starfield, and Sea of Stars. Lies of P feels like a weird game to be in role-playing, but I guess, like, is that where the Dark Souls games usually are?
Yeah, I think they might. They put them wherever they feel like it.
Wherever they're going to win.
I have no idea, honestly, because I also remember Elder Scrolls in role playing last year, but maybe it was. Yeah. I always thought it was an action.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. Yeah.
Action adventure. I always thought it was action adventure, at least, at the most.
Yeah.
But I could see it being RPG, but I don't know. I don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah. It feels like this is Baldur's Gate 3's to lose. I don't know that it has much competition here.
Whatever, Starfield.
I mean, that's what I was about to say. Is like it's kind of
like nah. Baldur's Gate 3. I think it is a better game. Yeah. It's better than Starfield. I think it's better than Starfield.
It's kind of sad that
but I also think
that's really Starfield's only kind of representation on these lists, and it doesn't seem like it's going to win it.
I mean, look, Microsoft makes a lot of money. They don't deserve to be nominated. So I'm not done. Whatever.
Oh, Dominic turned traitor on them, huh?
No, I'm just saying that's what they feel like. So it's like I know. I mean, I'm looking at these games and I'm like, I can see why some of these games are like Starfield's why it's not up here.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't do much different from the previous games, and there's a lot of good games that came out too.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder. Now, if it was like a downish year, maybe you'll see more Starfield. But there's been a lot of good games that came out this year, so it's kind of hard for me to say bias. I can't really say bias. I mean, because then I think I'll probably say bias more if Starfield was up here. Honestly.
Yeah.
More. So I think it's right. So I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I mean, it's kind of, I'm looking at look at these things. There is one game I'll wait till it's over that I will mention. Though,
okay.
That I feel like there's a problem that it's not up there. I mean, besides Stray Gods, I think Stray Gods got some up. And I didn't play. I just from what I've seen people said about it, especially in the music category, I feel like that's a little weird.
Yeah.
That game was not nominated. But go ahead.
All right, next up we got Best Action Game. We got Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Remnant 2, and Hi-Fi Rush. I don't know if Armored Core 6 wins this just because of the From Software aspect of it. Hi-Fi Rush was well regarded. I liked what I played of that game.
I think it's just between them two.
Yeah, it feels like pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like Armored Core. I have Armored Core 6 will win though. But I think it's between them two. Or they make it a half hour before they can shut their Xbox up to say, look, Xbox, we got them one. We got because to put something to leave to say. I wouldn't say integrity, but to make it like, look, man, we got to give at least all the major platforms got a winner.
Yeah.
So we got to give it a Hi-Fi Rush. But yeah, I think it's between those two that will win the award.
All right, next up we got Best Action Adventure Game. We got Alan Wake 2, Resident Evil 4, Spider-Man 2, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
So why is Zelda not an RPG then? Yeah, I don't know, man.
Exactly. And Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Because if Zelda is a action adventure, then Liza P and all the Dark Soul games are too.
Yeah. I mean, especially Elden Ring, though, right? Because it's basically that game, the Dark Souls style version of that game. So, yeah, I don't know. And it feels like
because Zelda doesn't have level up. That's why.
Yeah,
you don't level up.
I mean, yeah, I guess not directly.
You don't. You mean you don't? Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
you just have armor that has levels on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It really feels like it's kind of interesting the way that they did split up these categories though, because like, I mean, obviously they fit these categories, like Baldur's Gate being a role playing game, and then these games in the action adventure, because it does leave some mystery. I feel like after those two categories are decided, what might be game of the year, because if you didn't have Baldur's Gate in the role-playing category, I don't think anything in that category is going to beat anything that's in the best action adventure, or what's going to win the best action adventure category. Yeah. Like, there's no game on the best action game list that is even on the game of the year lists. So,
except for Zelda. Oh, best action. Oh, my fault.
Best just straight action. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is the toughest category. I think it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to these three. Probably these two.
Yeah,
probably
there's three. High Five
these
Rush,
one.
Liza P, and Alan Wake 2.
Yeah. Yeah, but like Alan Wake 2 and Spider-Man 2 and Legend of Zelda, I think Zelda might squeak this out, but I think Alan Wake 2 will be up there. I don't know that Spider-Man really has a shot.
I'm looking at best art direction. That's why I said High Five Rush.
Art direction. Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong, because I was saying like, wait, I don't see Spider-Man up here, and then I was like, oh yeah.
No, they don't deserve best art direction, not with those faces. Yeah, so best art direction: Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake 2, Zelda, Liza P, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. This is another one where it almost feels like, yeah, you can give it to the Xbox thing, because Hi-Fi Rush has such a distinct art style compared to the rest of these games. Now, the stuff they've added, the animations and the kind of quirkiness that they've added to Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I wonder if that could push them over the edge. Legend of Zelda is basically more of the same with Breath of the Wild. Alan Wake is a very good looking game, but I don't know how that gels with, I guess art direction is kind of the general, like, does it look good, but also does it run good? So maybe just tech wise, Alan Wake could win there.
They don't have best graphics.
Yeah.
They don't have a best graphics category. So I guess that's really what it is then.
But like Liza P is a fine looking game, but it's more of that same kind of thing too, where it's just Dark Souls with Pinocchio.
They used to have a best graphics. I feel like they had a best graphics before. I felt like there was an art direction and graphics.
Yeah. At some point, yeah, I feel like they did have that.
And I guess maybe they want to take that away, say, we got to stop the graphics horrendous.
Exactly.
We got to
we gotta consider these games art, Dominic. We can't do that.
Yeah, we got to direct this. Yeah, stop it.
All right, next up we have Best Narrative, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, and Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty.
I don't know, I only played 2 of these games and only beaten one of them, so I guess Cyberpunk 2077 I think should win. It's like, I have no idea. I mean, I like Baldur's Gate story. Man, I think it's so far better than Spider-Man, but I play this. I don't think if Spider-Man wins, then these other stories suck.
No, I don't think Spider-Man 2. I mean, we've talked about it. I think the story of Spider-Man 1 was better handled than Spider-Man 2. So
less black people. Yes. That's
Jesus. I don't know that there were less, actually, Dominic. There's still just one. So I think it's probably between Alan Wake and
I didn't see the
Baldur's
Deaf Girl
Gate.
until the Miles Morales.
Oh, that's true.
Game.
Yeah, I guess you got two.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I think it's probably Baldur's Gate or Alan Wake there. Best game direction. This is basically like the studio award. You got Larian Studios, Baldur's Gate 3, Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Zelda, Remedy, Alan Wake, and then Insomniac, Spider-Man 2. I could see this going to Nintendo strictly because of the way game developers have talked about Tears of the Kingdom and the way that the powers that they give you can basically break that game in any number of ways and doesn't really ever do that. So I could see that being the direction that goes. Larian can't even get their game to run on an Xbox, so like, why do they deserve an award? Yeah.
Well, I'll just say for what they put out that I the direction of doing the dice rolls.
Yeah.
I believe like to not just choices, but if those choices will even work that you do, like what's the chances of it you completing something or just activities, something like activities takes a dice roll. I like that. I mean, I think that direction of going hardcore dungeon and dragons with that, to add that layer to not only you have different choice, not only your playthrough is going to have different choices just from you picking like what your answer would be, like your but also if you get the role you want, or get the role you get, because then it's like, oh, I like you taught somebody, like on my playthrough, I didn't get it. Like I couldn't persuade this guy because my dice roll didn't do it, and then we had to fight. And while the other guy say, well, I persuaded him, and I didn't have to fight, and now you like something else happened, like something like a lot of stuff is different. I think that's pretty cool what they did with that. So there's some argument for there. Spider-Man direction. I mean, wherever the hell it was for the first game, that's what they did for the second game. There you go.
It's a good game, as it turns out.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Dominic, most anticipated game.
We didn't talk about the costume. How do you like the costume that Miles got at the very end? I
think it's fine.
Oh wow, you really have no style. Like that's just the thing is of it's like people are just making fun of that.
Yeah,
like,
no, I've seen a lot of the talk about that. I don't think it's a good idea I don't know. It's funny because I was gonna start that thought, but like you have Robin who literally just has like a piece of fabric over his eyes and nobody recognizes him.
Oh wait a minute! You talk about that? Oh yeah! Oh, I don't care about that.
Yeah, part. Having his hair out.
The costume.
No, I've definitely seen redesigns.
I think that's stupid. That's a stupid argument. That's a stupid argument because it's comic books.
Yeah,
it's like go fuck yourself.
I've seen redesigns that look far better than the way that costume looks in the game. Mostly just keeping it red and black as opposed to. The
mods are gonna look great, Daniel.
What's that?
It'll be excellent. The mods are gonna look so great when they come on.
Oh PC. Yeah, absolutely. There are definitely far better costumes in that game than that one, and I'll
be honest with you too, Daniel. I didn't really have a super problem with the suit, honestly.
Yeah.
And then when I saw people saying how bad it is, I was like, oh, let me go pretend I didn't like it either. I
think there are definitely aspects of it that could change and improve it, but I didn't hate it. I was wearing it a little bit at the end of the game before I started going around and trying out the other suits because I didn't really switch my suit much throughout the game.
Constantly.
What's that?
Constantly. Like I never wore the original suit unless they made you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not wore that suit in the game. Of neither him or the other Spider. Him, I actually wore one time, and no, because I switched it to the other type of black suit that was similar black. I didn't stick with the originals. I was switching. Yeah, I was always because with him, I was trying to look. I like looking more urban, and so I would get I like the hoodie. I like the hoodie.
Yeah,
I love the hoodie. Anything with a hoodie in the suit. If they didn't have the fucking cat, I'll be wearing that one. But no, they had to have a fucking cat that comes out in the back of your damn backpack. So I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Because people just love your cats, man. Lazy ass pet owners. So what else? I was about to say, but yeah, I get people not liking also that it was branded because it was Adidas branded.
Yeah, those Adidas shoes.
And I think that's pretty awful. I think it should have been branded. Yeah. The shoes, fine. Go with the fucking shoes. Fuck it. But the whole outfit thing, I was like, nah, man. Nah, you got enough money. Like you're Spider-Man. Like, dude, make your costume.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit. Like, if they want to do it afterwards, like pay you for the design, fine. But don't be like, oh, this was their design.
Yeah.
Nah, man. You don't need no fucking advertisement like that. You don't need that shit.
Exactly.
This is an advertisement. This is literally the fucking advertisement is an advertisement.
All right.
Go ahead.
Most anticipated games, we got Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Star Wars Outlaws, Tekken 8, and Hades 2. Is there something from that list that you were most excited about?
That's Knights of the Old Republic remake. Yeah.
Sorry, that one's been scrapped from that list.
What about Half-Life 3?
That never made it on the list.
What about the Dragon Age, whatever it's called? Well, what is it called?
What is it called?
The Wolf Among Us.
Dreadwolf?
2. Dreadwolf. The Wolf Among Us 2 is Mass Effect, whatever it is going to be, because they showed that off on Mass Effect Day or something.
Mass Effect
birthday.
2035. I think that's what we're going to call that. Not because that's when it takes place, but that's when it's going to release.
But, okay, well, who will win from these choices? Well, Hades 2 is... Well, actually, no, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth would be my personal one. But the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think, is going to win.
I am in agreement there with you. I think out of these... I don't know what I'm most excited about out of these. Probably...
Star Wars Outlaws.
I'm interested to see what that ends up being, but I'm not super into it.
Yeah,
I'd like to say Hades 2, but I haven't really spent that much time with Hades 1. So
I agree with you. I ain't agree with the girl protagonist either.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
No.
Where's my male Han Solo?
Yeah. Or, why won't you let us curate our one? Here's the thing. If there was a male, they wouldn't say that. They wouldn't say that. If there was a male protagonist, I probably wouldn't have that release. I mean, I figure it's the internet's so huge. Somebody says it, but it would have been on my timeline as big, like a lot of views. Like somebody saying that, like, why didn't you make it so we could just create our own, or blah blah blah, or something like that. I mean, maybe a woman probably would have said it, but I bet you only got as many views.
Yeah, would have been like two likes.
The dudes complaining. Yeah, it's been like the dudes complaining about, like, oh, why can what, like a RPG, you just create your own character, blah blah blah. Which, I mean, I'm of the mind of what depends on what it is. Like, if it's like an RPG type of story that's kind of just open, then create your own characters is fine for me.
Yeah.
But if it's like a strong narrative, I want you to make the character you want, and I play as them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why Assassin's Creed. That's why I think Assassin's Creed. I'm like, yo, pick the character. Say who the character is. Like, don't listen to these people. Like, either side. Like, they say, like, oh, I want a woman. Now, if you're gonna do a woman, then do a woman, but also make it like a character if you can build it up. Don't put it like, oh, I can be a man or a woman. No, make the character. It's like make because it gotta make sense. Because especially in Assassin's Creed, it's supposed to be you're playing somebody in the past, so it's gotta be one person. like that was there.
Yeah.
So it makes it make sense, because then you got me, who I played as a freaking lesbian, but I guess she said, oh, I'm just gonna have a baby by a man. And because I had to create it's like, what the hell? It's like, I don't know what, so I didn't know what's the story that happened here, where she got with the man. Or if you pay as a gay dude. It's like, oh, I gotta go where, like, oh, well, I gotta make a baby, so let me just go fuck this woman here, and then I can go back to being a man whore and whoring out the guys and going to gay clubs. But yeah, it's like, what? I don't know. Yeah, I think people stop trying to please everyone. I mean, I know, look, it is a product, but making a strong narrative, like it'll beat out that white noise. Like it'll just be white noise. Those people complain, but if it's a good story and it's good gameplay, people that will just clear everything up, man.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead.
Next up, Dominic, we have the final category game of the year. We've got The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Resident Evil 4, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, and Super Mario Wonder.
I think the winner is going to be between I think it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3, but I think it's going to be a Zelda probably be in there.
Yeah.
I think Zelda will be in there.
I think that's about it. I mean, maybe Alan Wake has a shot there, but I
have no idea, like, because I haven't played it.
Yeah. I'm just everything I hear is people praising.
Yeah, I hear people praising it. But will it be? Is a good business to make it a win? That's the question.
I don't know. You can have that weird looking dude come out on stage, and he can bring Iceman with him from the X-Men movies. So, get another celebrity up there, Dominic. That's all I'm saying.
What weird look are you talking about? The guy in the underwear?
No. The game director that was Max Payne's face originally.
Oh, okay.
Sam Lake. Because he plays like your FBI partner when you're Saga at the beginning of the game.
Okay. See, that sounds okay.
Man,
I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah, his face just it looks like they took like the modern version of the Max Payne face. Like he's living up to the meme or something like that. So, yeah, I think you're
the one
right
that the face was all scrunched up, like kind of like it was like he tried to make his face look like Jack Nicholson or something.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah,
like Jack Nicholson mixed with like Clint Eastwood. Like he's trying to squint his face, like in eyes and something.
Yeah, that's what a bad dude looks like, Dominic. You don't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
All right. So that is it for the Keeleys. We shall see how those turn out.
The what's been snubbed. I'm surprised I didn't see anything from Harry Potter up here.
Wow, you're right. You are.
Like Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy. I am shocked that I don't see like not even. Well, you know what? Where's the? Did you not do music?
I thought they had a music category. Put the music categories on there. I skipped a couple of those. You know, that and the esports stuff.
But like in music, it's not up there. That's why I think Straight God should have been mentioned too. Like, because that was even Harry Potter was nominated for an Oscar too. The Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, audio design was Alan Wake, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Resident Evil 4, and Spider-Man, and then music and score was again like big name games. It was Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy, Hi-Fi Rush, and Zelda. Like, yeah, it feels kind of weird to skip over a game like that where it's like kind of the focus is the music and go with basically just these big name titles, and like audio design is just because it's like, ooh, these creepy things.
Oh, but yeah, and there's been a lot of people talking, of course, that this is because of the author thing being transphobic, that they think they didn't do it, while other people are thinking that no, the game was okay, but it wasn't as good as the games up here. And I'm just saying, okay, if it's not going to be a Game of Year category, like fine. But I feel like Hogwarts Legacy should be in something nominated. I just find that weird that this game is not nominated. A game that is probably so far it's the highest selling game.
Oh wow!
Of the year.
Is it still?
And it was reviewed, or it was reviewed good.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't like Call of Duty where it's going to sell and it got a shit reviews. Like people generally talk really well of this game, and the amount I paid about it wasn't a lot. I mean, it was a fine game, and from what I hear from people who are Harry Potter fans, it's like for it to be what it is. As they say, like it has some of the problems they have with some older girls, but it makes you feel like the Harry Potter world and things of that nature. It's just not to be nominated. I find that very, like, I felt like, I'm sorry. I mean, I do. In the back of my mind, I think it's because of her being transferred. I feel like if that was never a thing, I think that game would have been nominated at least. I ain't gonna say it wins, of course. I don't think it should probably win Game of the Year or nothing like that. But I think I would have saw it on the fucking list. Yes.
I'm there with you, but at the same time, like, I'm looking at even where I would imagine it would be the best action adventure game category, and it's just so stacked that maybe it doesn't make the cut. You know, I don't know how it stands up to Jedi Survivor or Resident Evil 4. Now, Resident Evil 4 then appears again in Game of the Year, where I think maybe that game could have got a spot as well, but is it better than Resident Evil 4? I don't know. I mean, it's easy for me to say no, it's probably not better than Resident Evil 4, the original game, and the remaster is only, even better. But like, that's because it's hard for me to divorce like my feelings about Resident Evil 4, the original game at the time it released, versus this game now. Like Resident Evil 4 did something special at that time and carries that legacy, whereas, Hogwarts is a very good one of those. So, yeah, I don't know if this is something.
I mean, that's the thing.
where
It's well, I put it like this: it's easy to them to get away with speaking of an excuse to not have it up here this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. I wonder if someone will ask that question, and if Jeff Keighley would have any sort of response to it outside of these are the games that were voted on by our.
I'm about to say.
Although I'll even say that it doesn't have to be like some grand conspiracy, and not that I'm saying that you're implying that. But like not Jeff Keighley's decision necessarily, but because the people that are voting to make these the nominees, if I recall correctly, it's basically people within the industry, and those are people that have expressed in the past, their feelings on these games. So, or on this game specifically. So yeah, it's almost like a self-selecting, bias there. So I would not be at all surprised.
And yeah, I mean, I still think it's a slew of good games up here and everything. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see who wins what game and whatever. But the most important thing is the trailers, as always.
As always. Yep. See some new stuff. Let's see some Dragon Age, which I don't think we will, but let's see it.
I want Perfect Dark. I want someone sneaking up on me, man. Perfect Dark, Fable.
Xbox isn't going to give them their time. They can't even nominate them for any awards, Dominic.
Yeah, I guess not. All right, so what's the new releases that came out?
All right, we got new releases, Dominic. Speaking of, Hogwarts Legacy is now out on the Nintendo Switch. You texted me telling me that it ran better on the Switch than on your PC.
Yeah, man. I saw that. I was like, man, they must don't do optimization on the PC. Because I'm like, how is this thing running the way it was running on the Switch? I was like, you kidding me? So yeah, it doesn't look... No, it doesn't look near as good as Xbox or the high-end PC or PS5. But damn, I mean, it's still... But it runs... And it's good enough for... Listen, it looks better than what I was playing at, so I definitely could play it.
Yeah.
Like, that game just chugs at some point where it's just unplayable for me. And I'm just finding like, they got to run on the Switch. I said, you sons of bitches. Y'all couldn't optimize this shit. Where I can still stretch it out with my 970.
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me?
All right, Dominic. Next up, we got Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. This is out basically on everything. It is a multiplayer rhythm game. It looks kind of cute, but not much more to it. Tear Down, that is out now on the PS5 and the Xbox Series.
I know that name.
Yeah, it's been out on the PC for a while. It looks kind of like Minecraft, but it's basically like you're tearing down buildings and you're doing
that's right.
Like
they had this at one of those shows.
Yep,
where they were showing it off.
Yeah. We also have Assassin's Creed Nexus VR. That's out on the Quest 2 and 3. Any interest in jumping into the Assassin's Creed world in VR?
Oh, nah.
No,
not really.
All right. We got Bluey, the video game, Dominic. This one's big. It's out on everything.
And the Xbox. You got the Xbox special version of it, Daniel.
I retweeted it, Dominic. I get it. I saw that on Polygon.
I'm not a Bluey fan, but that's a nice looking console. I'll have that.
Pretty good, right? Yeah. The controller feels a little uncreative, but the console itself is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know.
When you hit the power button, this is like say something Australian or something like that. I'm like,
says good day, mate. All right. Persona 5 Tactica is now out on the PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox, and is on Game Pass. So I have not seen reviews on that yet, but I might give that a try because it's on Game Pass and load it up through streaming or something like that.
Yeah, I downloaded. Just haven't. I was waiting to beat Sea of Stars before I try something else.
Yeah, I understand that. We also have Super Mario RPG out on the Nintendo Switch now. That's getting good reviews, basically saying that is exactly that same game, but it looks better. sounds like there's not really much in the way.
It looks like what I thought the game would somehow look like when I was young. Because I used to see, because when I was young, I used to look at reading the magazines and just like Donkey Kong, like they would have the cartoon, like
the original renders.
Yeah. And like just like this, it's not in the game. It's like just Donkey Kong, like 3D Donkey Kong, like out doing something,
exactly.
And then they show you the screen of the game. But I always look at the 3D Donkey Kong or the renders of the like the bugs and stuff like that. And then like in Mario, they would show like Bowser and stuff. I used to think like, man, that looks really cool, but it is like the game. It's like it looks sort of like that stuff, but not really. But now it does. Now it looks like it. It looks like what those pictures they have of Mario and the Mario RPG and things of that nature. So, okay, yeah, it looks cool, man. Maybe one day I'll get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks really good.
Did they put is the original one on whatchamacallit?
On the online service? I do not think so.
Oh, okay.
And I
Bastards.
doubt it will be now because of because of this.
Yeah.
So. All right, Dominic, and then we have the release of a large Sony hardware device, the PlayStation Portal.
In time for the 30th anniversary of their Sony Interactive Computer Entertainment.
Exactly. Ushering them into the next generation of PlayStation products, the PlayStation Portal. I have heard that it is for what it is. It is perfectly fine. That doesn't necessarily justify the cost of it. And yeah, that's kind of where it is. It's just like, why would I buy that thing for that much when I could, essentially buy a backbone and do the same thing, or even just connect to my
I'm confused.
Controller.
So what makes this better than the backbone? Like, what's the difference between this and the backbone? The backbone, you put your phone in, right?
Yeah, that's you put your phone in.
Okay.
Or right. That's the other thing. It's like, I don't even need to do that. If I could either get a phone clip or prop my phone up on something, or if I have a phone case that does it, set it up on something and connect the DualSense controller to it and do all the stuff. Obviously, most people's phones aren't quite as big as the screen on this thing. So there is that. Yeah, but I don't know that they're the adaptive triggers. Obviously, you can't get that in one of these backbone products right now, at least. But I don't know that that's that big a deal for most people, especially if they're experiencing something like this. There's going to be people that are going to use this thing because either they have other family members that are using the television, or they just prefer to kind of be free and roam around the house while they're playing video games. But I feel like those people also, like, when the time comes and there's an experience that you want to experience on the big screen in the full, like, fidelity, which includes like the adaptive triggers, you're going to take that to a TV or something larger than what I think an 8-inch screen or whatever it is on this. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like a compromised device, and I don't want to pay $300 for a compromised device. So I would much rather them spend the time and manpower to just get PlayStation running natively, or not natively, but PlayStation streaming running natively on like a Steam Deck or even a Switch. Again, when Steam is one thing, but when we're talking about like getting running on the Switch, then we're talking about like Nintendo approving that, and I don't know if that's a thing that they would do. But like, yeah, get it running on the Steam Deck, so it's easier for me to just stream those games there. Same with Xbox. Do the same freaking thing, please.
I don't know. It's or let some third party put like mirror image thing, like some type of where it can just stream anything up there, including games, including games on the consoles.
That's why, Dominic, we got to get the Switch 2 out here so I can hack this original Switch and put all that stuff on here. Just get it running Android and play Xbox Game Pass stuff on there. All right, Dominic, that is everything I've got for the week. Do you got anything for the people?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic ZD Stallworth 5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all the links to the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Spotify for all your audio listening needs. Until next time, guys. Talk to you later.
All right, Chief.